Okay. Here we are again. Getting ready to go back in Final Fantasy Legend 3. This is the first time this theme song is playing through. So we'll do our usual thing. We'll wait for it to play through 2 times total. And then we will get started. It's probably like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. Somewhere in there we'll get started. Hey, Conker, it's going good. How's it going for you there? You're just about ready to get started today, working on a few little preparatory things that I need to do before we move on to the future timeline in the game today, because we're all done, for now anyway, in the present. So, almost all done in the present. Just gotta get my get some transformations going before we go, and then we'll be good. Doing good. Just put laundry out to dry and you're chilling at home. Nice, Conker. Sounds good. Nice and relaxing. Well, enjoy, my friend. We will have some cool video game footage, hopefully, playing in the background while you are relaxing at home. In about a minute and a half. So. I wonder what Jaeger's barking at over there. It's not over here, so it's probably not the neighbors. If it's over there, it's probably somebody in the alley. Or it's somebody down the street taking their garbage into the garbage cans in the alley where the garbage trucks pick up every week. I don't know. I just let him bark, man. He's a dog. That's what he does. Or rather, I should say, I let him bark most times, unless I know it's the neighbors. In which case, he shouldn't be barking at them. He's familiar with them. I know they don't talk to him, but he should be familiar with them by now. So, got to course correct him a little bit. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I did a little bit of research in terms of all of the different classes in this game. And as it turns out, a couple of things. First off, I was right about level 17 is usually the sweet spot, where the other 4 classes besides human and mutant start to get good. And second thing, humans and mutants themselves don't start getting the kind of HP that you end up with near the highest level I usually get to until far later in the game. For reference, usually I get up to about level 31, 32, somewhere in there when I finish out this game. And at that level, humans and mutants have, like 600, 700 HP, somewhere in there, about double what they would have right now. Beasts, monsters, cyborgs, and robots, properly equipped and decked out, can have upwards of almost 1,000 HP at the same level. And considering the final boss has an attack that deals like 950 HP per hit, well, per hit, it only hits once, but you know what I mean. Point is, humans and mutants, not really going to cut it for that whole part. So now we need to assimilate them into the grid. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Final Fantasy Legend 3, the Stream Edition. Last time, we got everything we needed in order to go to the future. We have the future unit. I bought some extra supplies for us. There's our other units down here. I should probably move them up here. And today, we're going to be thinking about going to the future, but before we do that, I just want to make a quick pit stop in the North Tower, because we need to transform somebody into an air elemental monster before I get to level 17. So that's how that's going to go. The ATF is at your house right now. I think I found out about the... Oh, yeah, well, I don't know if... I don't know if we can help you with that one, unfortunately, Conker's Twin. I'm... At the very least, I'm very far away from where you are, so I couldn't get there in time to do anything. But hello, Conker's Twin. How you doing? Wait till they go in there so you can... I think it depends on the angle. Like, if you have a good vantage point, I would say now would be a good time, but if you don't have a good vantage point, you might have to use a little subterfuge in order to make sure that you guarantee that you can take care of them, you know what I mean? So that would be my thought process. I don't know if I'm off the wall with that. I couldn't tell you. I haven't had to take care of the ATF ever, so... They don't know you have those? Okay, well that means you have the element of surprise, which is good. Now it's just a matter of numbers. If there's... I know action movies, you can kill 100 guys as a single dude and be fine, but in real life, killing 3 to 4 people as a single person, or even just dropping 3 to 4 people as a single person, is a miracle. So basically, if there's 3 or more of them, you gotta think about your numbers, and if there's 3 or more, you're gonna have to think about trying to get a better vantage point than just having the element of surprise on your side, I would say. But again, that's just me talking out of my ass from what little I remember from my karate classes. Okay, so we're gonna stop off in the North Tower, and what we need to do is there's a whole bunch of monsters in here that we can kill in like one hit with all of our weapons, so we're gonna do that. And this is why the North Tower is a fairly decent place to get your transformations, because you can get a whole bunch of different monster meat out of them, and they don't really hurt at all by the time you get to this point in the game, so you could just do this, and then once you get the meat that you need, you can transform people into beasts, monsters, what have you. It just might take a little bit to get it all set and ready to go, though. So now we're going to figure out which person I want to be the monster of the party. I've decided, instead of having 1 human, 1 beast, 1 cyborg, and 1 robot, I'm just going to have 1 monster, 1 beast, 1 cyborg, and 1 robot, as opposed to my normal thing of 2 beasts, 1 cyborg, and 1 robot. So we'll have to see. Well, I'm glad that I've made some good points. Sometimes I don't talk completely out of my ass. Sometimes I actually talk out of my head. Alright, so we have water elemental meat. The Orc's meat there is water elemental. Who does what with water elemental? Earth, air, water, fire. Okay, and we just want the monster transformation for right now. So Arthur would actually transform into an air elemental beast if he ate this. And then we would need to find... But we need to find something else in order to get them to air elemental, because I don't think there's air elemental monster meat in here. I think it's normally outside, which it's like a Ravens drop it or something, so it's not available in here. So let's say we're looking at turtles, because turtles are monsters. They're earth elemental. Who can eat earth and become air? Well, if I make something into water, they can become air from eating earth. So let's say we send Gloria down this path, because water and water makes water, so she would turn into water. No, that's a different game. So if Gloria ate this, she would turn into a water elemental beast for this level, level 16. And then, if we have her eat earth elemental meat, it'll turn her into an air monster. So there is a little metagaming in this game. It's just, it's relatively small by comparison to where it normally is. Brooder, that is, yeah, water elemental. So you can usually tell because they kind of have that like weird Cthulhu-looking sea monk thing going on when they're water elemental beasts. So how is Brooder anyway? Well, it's still got X Fire, but at least it has Circle Tornado, I guess. It has Poison Skin, Curse Song, Frost, and Headbutt. So yeah, not all that great. But, I mean, I guess it's there. It's not quite the beast that I want. The beast that I want is like the Earth or Air Elemental ones that start at level 17. So that's why we haven't transformed into it yet, because, well, we're not quite there yet, so... but I do need to get this monster transformation before we get to level 17, because otherwise this monster transformation is not available anymore. It's, the next set of monsters that are Air Elemental are not quite as good. So, and so now we'll just look for a battle with, I think not Gigaworms, regular worms work as well, because I think they're also Earth Elemental meat. I don't even know where that went. Okay, well, whatever. We'll probably just kill them anyway. Yeah. So we can get worm meat. I think it'll work. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to find out in a second. I just saved, so... Okay, no worm meat. Got it. So let's just keep walking around, shall we? See if we can find what we need so I can get this monster. And this is pretty much a test. I really haven't used monsters all that much in this game, so this is kind of like a way of challenging myself and at the same time seeing if they're halfway decent. So we'll check it out. While I'm running around in circles here, let's read what Conker's twin said. That's the spot where it's being... Oh, really? It's illegal for people to dig the spot up if the plants on there are endangered? That's interesting. Huh. That's a nifty thing. I didn't know that. That's some good information. The more you know, I guess. Yeah, as long as nobody... I mean, I guess if they catch you in the act, you can just say, no, I got this from my, from a family member. I got these plants from a family member. Just make sure, the other part is done before you start planting this stuff. So, okay, so let's try this now, shall we? Monster Turtles meat. I think they're Earth Elemental. Wait, hang on. What if they're Water Elemental? Let me look at the list. Hold on. Sorry, I'm moving chat off my phone screen for a second, so I hope nobody says anything of particular import. Let's look at the enemy list. Worm, drake, wolf, fungus, starfish. What am I looking for here? Turtle is so worm is earth, turtle. So turtle is water elemental. So we do need worm meat. Okay. So no, I don't want this turtle meat. I actually want worm meat. So that's what we're gonna look for. Is just this battle, and only fight this battle, and hopefully get worm meat eventually. I promise the amount of looking for things won't take too long in this game. It's not nearly as bad as it was in Legend 1. You have 4 party members that you have to look for stuff with, but it's not nearly that bad. It doesn't take nearly that long, so... Okay, leather helmet. Now, if you get an item out of the battle, as far as I know, you can't get monster meat as well as an item out of the battle, so... Yeah, we'll just fight this battle. Hopefully we don't fight it for too many times, because I don't want us to accidentally level to 17. That would be bad. Okay. Nothing out of that one. And I have half a mind at some point to just reset if I don't get it, Because, what the hell, right? Because we saved right after we got the transformation that I needed, so... If I don't get it after a certain amount of time, I'll just reset so I have a easier chance of running into these guys. We'll stay here on the first floor, though, because it seems like they come in fairly quickly on the first floor. I don't know if it changes up how the monster formations are if you go to a different floor, so... I figure it's probably easier to just do this, I could set them on auto even as well. Oh, the Colonel's sending me a message. Hold on. Okay, I didn't get anything. What did the Colonel send me? Oh, okay. That's nothing important. Alright, let's keep going, shall we? Okay, nothing in this battle. Just keep looking. Now, if we were level 17, well, first of all, I would have gone too far, but I'd also be looking in the North Tower to see if I could find monsters that would allow me to do my robot transformation and also my beast transformation, because, like I said before, the beast that you can gain access to at level 17 and the robot that you gain access to at 17 are both very good, and yeah, I would want to do that. My transformation for my cyborg, though, that's going to have to wait until level 19, because there is a decent cyborg at 17, but it's not a great cyborg. Like, there's a really, really solid cyborg transformation that you can get at level 19. So once we get there, after we travel to the future, and there'll be another spot in the future where we can get some decent robot parts and, you know, monster meat and all that stuff. So I'm not really too concerned about getting that anytime soon. But once we get to 19, we'll be able to do our first of 2 cyborg transformations we're going to do in the game. There's like 3 monster transformations total that we need to do, 2 beast transformations, 2 cyborg transformations, and 3 robot transformations throughout the game. And they're very negligible. You can do them basically at the North Tower for the first 2 in most cases. And the last ones for each of them take a little bit more doing, but they're really not that hard to get done. So we'll just do them, and then we'll head off to the future, and we'll see how it goes. Wolves are Earth Elemental, if I recall the list correctly. I should really just keep the list in another tab, honestly. That's what I need, is I need like a second computer screen or something for this, so I can just look right over at it. Yes, wolves are Earth Elemental. And just to check my notes again real quick, water is what we're starting as. Eat earth, become air. Okay. I have the chart in my notes, so I just, to make sure that I have it. It will work out for me. This specific monster that I'm looking for, by the way, the reason why I want to get it is because the monster itself has some decent resistances. And that's important for reasons that we'll get into once we actually get the monster. So it's important specifically for monsters rather than other people. Okay, we got wolf meat. All right, cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if this works. Yes, it did. Okay, so you know how in Final Fantasy Legend 2, the baby dragons were better than the baby worms? Towards the late game, they kind of switched that in this game. The baby worms actually become better than the baby dragons, or rather, it starts here in the mid-game and it just keeps going. I mean, the stats are pretty okay. It's got good HP, better HP than anybody else at this point, better MP than anybody else at this point, even better MP, or probably about the same MP that she had as a mutant at this level as it is. Talents, I mean, it's nothing particularly special. Paranail's nice because it lets her use Para without having to use MP. Blind is, I guess, there. It's not really particularly useful. The main thing that I wanted out of the baby worm is Circle Confuse, because that allows me to prevent confusion on Gloria without having to worry about equipment. But you'll notice something. You'll notice that she doesn't currently have Circle Sleep, even though she's equipped with a plume. Why is that? Well, as you can see, monsters don't use any equipment whatsoever in the game. So that means you don't have to buy anything for them ever again in terms of weapons and armor and accessories and all of that stuff. So it is a big money saver for you, and that's helpful because things are going to start becoming very expensive from the shops pretty soon. So having a monster is a big money saver. It's just a matter of the fact that sometimes monsters that you'll fight will get around the fact that you don't have resistances to all the statuses that everybody else will, and they'll, put her to sleep, or they'll, stone her, or they'll paralyze her, that sort of thing. Me personally, I think it's okay that I have this particular type of monster though, because Confuse is the only one that I'm particularly worried about in terms of what they can do to other people. Excuse me, because Confuse is kind of a randomized thing, and I really don't like it when I include randomness in my video game. So, having immunity to the thing that makes me do random actions is pretty nice for me, personally. Yeah, as you can see, I unequipped the Psy Knife there. Did not affect my agility at all. So that's why that is. So let's just unequip all of her stuff, because she won't need it anymore. Ever, actually. So, she can keep all this stuff unequipped, and it'll be fine. But yeah, so having the resistance to confusion will be nice, because if she gets stoned, I can just give her a soft potion, or eventually I'll be able to cast the stone spell on her to cure that. if she gets... Oh, I'm all the way down at my crystals now. Okay. And all the way down here. If she gets paralyzed, I can fix that fairly easily. So the main one that I'm really concerned about is Confuse. And the Baby Worm line, as it so happens, is pretty good at resisting Confusion. They resist Confusion all the way up through their line from now until like level 27 to 28, which is, I think, the highest level worm-type monster available to you. So basically, every 6 levels, I'm going to want Gloria to eat more air elemental monster meat specifically so that she can evolve up into the next evolution of the Baby Worm line. Because she's currently air elemental, so she'll want to eat air elemental meat in order to become more air elemental. It just cancels itself out and ends up in the same place. So yeah, Gloria is our resident monster. Like I said before, I didn't have any particular plan about who was going to be what in the party when I started the playthrough. I just said, well, whatever I get, you know. Whoever ends up being the monster, they end up being the monster. Same thing with the beast, or the robot, or the cyborg, or the whatever the hell. So I said, yeah, it's no big deal. Just whoever ends up being whatever is that person. So okay, but now we need to go do a little bit of, well, we need to sell a few things first and foremost, because we have quite a lot of junk in our inventory now that was Gloria's equipment from before. So we need to go sell all of that stuff. I'm actually going to go to the magic shop here in Elan because I can purchase a few things here. I want to purchase some more spells, basically, so that I have, I think, the same spell list, essentially, for 3 people, basically. So, like, Curtis has this going on, although these 2 are not going to be useful anymore pretty soon. But for Gloria, like, she can keep Cure 1, Cure 2, and Para, because those are... They have the same amount of usefulness no matter whether you're a mutant or a monster. But Fire 1 and Ice 1 I should give to Curtis because he can benefit from them the most now. He's still a mutant, so he can use them better than Gloria can as a monster. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to give him Fire 1 and Ice 1. I had room for that, right? Yeah, it's just all the way down here. I had just enough room. So we'll give him these for now, until later when he is no longer a mutant as well. And then we'll take them off of him and we'll have everybody, you know, buy other things. So, alright, let's go to the magic shop. So I can buy... Ow. So I can buy something from here. I think there's a couple of things I can buy from here that are halfway decent. Hi, Granny! I have things to sell you. Actually, there's nothing from this shop that I want to buy because I already have Cure 1 on Sharon, so... Okay, so let's sell that, though. Sell that. Yeah, we'll get a little money back on our investments. That's not too bad. They'll let us buy more other inventory. So, and that's that. Okay. So now that we've done that, and I've wasted some time going to the Elan magic shop. Ow. Sorry, I just feel the obsessive need to do that every time I walk under a bridge in this game. There's just some compulsion in me prevents me from continuing until I've hit my head on the top of it. And I just thought of a really funny joke that I could do if Arthur ends up being the cyborg of the game. That would be... It actually would be a little morbid now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if I'm going to end up doing it. We'll see. Actually, before we go anywhere else, though, I'd like to go to the item shop while I'm here. And I'm actually going to buy a couple more capsules for the robot, because that way we have them. So a couple defense ones, a couple speed ones. The reason why I'm buying so many will become apparent when we actually get a robot in about probably like 20 minutes, half an hour, somewhere in there. So, and that means we're going to head back to Darm, and we're going to buy some attack and HP ones as well. So, let's see. You've got sleep. I would like to get you para as well. And then get you sleep. So, let's see. Do I want confuse? I guess I should keep it for now, because it's still useful to me. For a little bit anyway, but it's not going to be useful for an incredibly large amount of time after this, because pretty soon we're going to have complete resistance to confusion on our entire party, so yeah, it won't be a big problem after that. At least for the foreseeable future will have full confusion resistance. Until a point in the game where the enemies don't use confusion as one of the most common status ailments. So, yeah. So I need how many sleeps? I need 2 sleeps, because you need 1 and you need 1. I need another Cure 2. And I need another Para. Okay. So we're going to have to go to the past in order to get that other Para and that other Cure 2. But we'll go there right now. Let's see, because we need to go to Lay, I think it is, in order to get that. And that's in the past. Is that right? No, actually, Present Mu will have a couple of those at least for us. So let's go check out Present Mu before we go venturing into the past, shall we? And hey, while we're on our way through here, we might actually get to test Gloria out in battle, so that'll be pretty nice. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. I'm going to rest up at the inn real quick, just because I'm missing a little HP. Nothing I'm too concerned about. But enough to make me want to just top myself off, you know. Oops. There we go. What do you have? What a hag? Oh, good. You have Cure 2, which I need 1 of, and I need, what was it, 2 paras, I think? Let's go look. I should have kept those paras that I got from those, what were they, Horuses? Something like that. In the Anubis line from the last episode that we were fighting in the tower. Actually, you know what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to stick this here for now. So you've got Para. You need Para. So I'm going to give you Para. And Sharon needs Cure 2, so let's give her that. I want you to have Para, and I want you to have Para. There we go. And that means you have everything that I need and then some, because you have all those elemental spells that we'll still be using. We'll cut down Arrow, Light 1, Fire 1, and Ice 1 completely out of the list once we get Curtis's transformation. Hell, if he ends up being our robot, he might even have no magic. I might end up giving all that stuff to Arthur instead, but we'll have to see. So you have Cure 2, Cure 1, and Para, so you just need Sleep from Darm. And you need Sleep from Darm. Okay, so we don't even have to go to the past. Perfect. That works out for me pretty nicely. So we can just go straight out of here. We can head to Darm. We can buy those couple other capsules that I needed. We'll buy Sleep for everybody that is using it. And then, and actually, while I'm thinking about it, did I give Confused to Arthur? Not yet. So let's just give that to him. Since I'm not going to be having him use that basically at all, unless he's healing somebody of confusion until we get to the point where that's no longer a problem, which is coming up fairly soon. So, alright. Whoops. Go back up. There we go. I always press A instead of B for some reason when I'm trying to get back on land. So, whoops. Oh well. Magic Shop is up here. You are blocking my path, but that's okay because I can just jump over your head. It's such a convenient little thing, too. Oh, you know what? While I'm here, should I buy shells? See, shell raises defense, which might come in handy for it. Let me look at the stats real quick to see if that would actually come in handy for us for what I'm thinking of. Because there's a certain... Some of the endgame bosses hit really freaking hard, but it's mainly with magic, so I don't think defense in that case would help us. Yeah, because we have actual magic defense. That's an actual stat. So having extra defense in that case wouldn't help us. So we won't even bother. Yeah, Gloria's stats are pretty nice there. Pretty well all around there. She's pretty good all around as a baby worm. So, and that's one of the nice things about monsters as well, is that their stats are usually fairly high for the level that they're at, and they're usually fairly well-rounded. They're not the best at any one given thing at their level, unless, of course, it's like HP. Although I think there's a couple of beasts that have better HP at this level, but I'm not 100% sure. But they really don't take a whole lot of investment. You basically just, okay, I need to hunt for monster meat at this particular level, and then this particular level, and then you're fine. So it's not too bad. There are drawbacks, obviously, because, again, the lack of equipment really hurts in some cases, but, well... It's a nice challenge, you know what I mean? The challenge excites me. I just won't even continue that sentence because I know where it goes after that, and I don't think anybody wants to see that, so... keep those for now. So your list is good, and your list is good. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate things, though, is that you don't have a whole lot of, like, party diversity, I find, when you use, like... When you're not using mutants in your party, you don't end up having a whole lot of party diversity when it comes to the spells that they can use. I pretty much usually just have everybody doing the same thing because all the status magic ends up being really, really good when you don't have mutants to, you know, just blast enemies with spells. And even when you have mutants, status effects still end up being fairly powerful because you run into so many enemies, it's good to disable a few of them, you know? So... Okay, but I think we have everything we need now. You've got that, that's fine. You've got that, that's fine. You're good, and you're good. Okay, and we have the future in the hover unit. We've got all of our stuff here. We're stacked to the ceiling full of potions. The radar will tell us there's nothing left here in the present in terms of Talon units to find. We're all set and ready to go, so let's save up. We'll head to the temple, and then we're off to the future. That didn't take too long. Oh good, we get to test Gloria out in battle first before we go, so that's good. Let's see, now we don't have Ice Wand on Gloria anymore, but we do have it on Curtis, so he can actually kill one of the Iron Roses by himself, which is good. So I don't think, your monsters actually can't use weapons because, well, they don't have any equipped, so they're forced to use their talents in order to kill things, but that's okay. Let's see. How about you do that, and then help him out with that up there, Sharon. Paranail will paralyze for 0 MP, which is nice. It's always nice when you can get away with doing status effects or doing magical damage without actually having to use up any of your MP, so. He fired a rocket at me. And Arthur's paralyzed. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll fix that eventually as well. That won't be a problem either. Curtis, why don't you do that? Why don't you paralyze that one? And then, yeah, just help him out in case he misses. Bang. So yeah, party will end up being pretty balanced as once we get it all set and ready to go here. It's just, you know, have the status effects ready and then we'll be in good shape. I don't know how much Beak does, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, I mean, 100 damage, that's not terrible. It's not great, but it'll, you know, it'll do. And what do we got? Pirate meat. So, do I want to use this? Hey, Ghost Hand, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Those pig designs are giving you some serious Tombe vibes. Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, yeah, I can see the resemblance. God, I haven't seen anything related to Tombe, and I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But, or Tomba, I don't know. The caveman game where you jump off of pigs' heads. Yes, I remember that one. I haven't seen anything with that in like a decade, man. That's some serious nostalgia. Okay, so the pirate there is a beast, and it is water elemental, yes. Let me look at my monster list real quick. Pirate. Yes, water elemental beast. So if I have, who will end up as being something useful if I have them eat the water elemental thing there? Earth will end up being useful because that so if, well, hang on, no. Let me look at this again. I'm looking at it the wrong way. Earth eats water, becomes fire. So no, we don't want that. Fire eats water and becomes air. So that would make Arthur our resident beast, which I'm okay with, actually. Now I could do it now, since, you know, I might as well. We could get it over with, and then he'll just transform into the useful one next one. I want him to be the air elemental beast for this level, because every level, like I said previously, when you have a beast, every time they level up, they transform into the opposite element of what they currently are. So, like, if Arthur... Can he eat this when he's paralyzed? No. Okay, well, then I guess we aren't eating it. That's fine. But yeah, so if Arthur ate that and became an air elemental beast, in 274 experience when he leveled up, he would turn into an earth elemental beast instead, because earth and air in this game are opposite elements. Same thing for water and fire. They directly oppose one another, and so they you end up switching between the two if you're a beast. So, Sharon, why don't you just top Curtis off there before we head off to the future? We'll be missing a little MP, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll be fine without 8 of our MP. It's not like the future's gonna be that bad to where we'll have a hard time finding a place to heal, right? Epilepsy alert. Alright. Let me get back on my rave ship here. Okay, sorry, I had to dance for a minute. Okay, so let's attach the new engine, and we'll attach the future unit so that we can warp. Let's give it the hover. Rover, by the way, is a slow-moving engine, and hover is just a faster-moving engine. I think they also changed whether or not you can go on land or water. I think the hover engine allows you to go on water as well, but, I mean, the Talon's not out of the temple yet, so we can't actually go anywhere with it at the moment other than warping. Still got that, still got that. Alright, so now we have everything we need. Let's go to the future, shall we? The future is now! Well, that was easy. Okay, let's go see how bad the future is, shall we? Epilepsy alert. Well, the temple's got to still be here, because otherwise we would have walked up here and we'd have flown off into the vacuum of space. So, yeah, that's probably a good sign. Let's go see how bad it is outside, shall we? Okay, that's a lot of water. Yeah, it's risen a little bit in the 15 years since the present now, hasn't it? Is it you, or do they manage to make the environments even more impressive than the first? No, it's not just you. This game, the environments are really cool too, and I actually really dig the way that the game presents the world, and how it's slow, like the water in the world is just slowly encroaching on all of the different land masses in the game. Like the first half of this game, where you're traveling through this section of the world and you're not going directly to where the water entity is really cool with how the water works and how it just slowly, like, it shrinks your land mass. It's like it provides almost like pressure towards you to actually do something about it without directly coming out and saying, yeah, you need to stop the water entity. It's causing the world to stir. Yeah, I know that already because the game showed that to me just through the world map, you know? Yes, global warming. Yeah, and this was a time period where that was a big topic. The 90s were real big on that sort of a thing. So it's not really subtle based on like the big popular talking points of the early 1990s. The global warming was a big thing at that point. Still is a big thing now, big serious problem. We got to take care of it, obviously. But it was fresh in people's minds back then, rather than just being something that you talk about when you want to talk political. So. Okay, well, we're gonna need to dive around if we're gonna go anywhere. Okay, well, that's it. There's just a harbor here. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like this... I mean, the world map music kind of defeats the purpose, but this here is kind of almost spooky. You get here and it's like, oh crap, I gotta surf around to get anywhere, but there's just nothing. As far as the eye can see, it's just water, you know what I mean? Like, that's just... It's just cool to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too into it, but it's just cool to me to see all of that stuff. Okay, so we got new monsters, obviously, because the future has new monsters. I don't think the turtles are particularly threatening. I guess we're gonna find out. Would they be weak to ice? No, they'd probably be weak to thunder because they're water elemental monsters, right? That would make sense. And why don't you help out over here? Yeah, you wake up in Subnautica, exactly. Just wake up and there's just giant sea monsters just destroying you. Okay, he's not weak to lightning, so I'm gonna have to do something about that next turn. Wow, he lived both of my humans attacking at the same time. Holy crap. Let's see. How about we paralyze more of them then, shall we? Let's paralyze you, and then... Wait, did I have Arthur attack the... Okay, I'll just have Arthur do that. You two paralyze the right row of Igosaurs, or Igosaurs, and then you take care of that guy. Yeah, the monsters here can get pretty tricky. They, when you first get here, it gets a little bit... if you don't use status effects to kind of thin their numbers a little bit like this, they can hit you pretty hard, so... Yeah, we'll do the best we can to fix that, though. Let's see. How about we have everybody gang up on these guys? Actually, I'm going to have Curtis take his turn to test if these guys are weak to fire. So, and then everybody else just gang up on this guy. Might need all three of you to take care of him, frankly, because... Well, Dive does pretty good, actually. Ow. Nice. Okay, so he's not weak to fire either. Alright. I don't know what the hell he's weak to. So I guess it's better that I use status effects because I got nothing. He might not be weak to anything, frankly. Yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting using a monster for the rest of the game, because like I said, I usually haven't gotten the chance to use a whole lot of monsters in this game. My main use for monsters previously has just been using them like really, really early game when I got the baby dragon that I was talking about in that one cave that we went to, where it has access to the Quake spell, and you can just use that to soften enemies up in the early game to allow your humans to blast them with weapons and kill them. Because usually in the early game, you're at that point where you get slightly too softly to kill them in one hit. And then, yeah, you don't quite get it. But as you saw there, we're getting a lot more experience from the enemies now. That was 117 experience from a single battle, so that will really help us in terms of getting our levels up. So, Sharon, go ahead and cure yourself real quick. There we go. Okay, so my first things first here is I want to go see the Ifrim tree. That seems like the smartest plan in terms of figuring out what the hell's going on. He would probably know. He's been here the whole time, so. What do you know, Ifrim tree? Yes, we did. Good to see you again. And yeah, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of tombstones over there. If we check the second tomb from the top and right, we'll find something. Oh, okay. You're pretty crafty then, aren't you, Ifrim tree? I mean, you've been around for 30 years, and to be fair, you grew that tall in 15, so. I think that's just Ashura's tower there. I don't think that's changed at all. Or rather, that's the South Tower is what that's called. I don't think that's changed at all. I think the monsters that are in there are exactly the same as they were previously, so yeah, don't worry about that too much. I want to paralyze both of those as quickly as possible, or put them to sleep even. Although I think they have a resistance to sleep, so let's just paralyze them. There we go. And then Sharon, help out up here. Yeah, those wizards can be... Okay, so they might have para resistance then, because that's had no effect. So I guess sleep might be more useful than para in that case. Usually it's the other way around. Usually para is more useful than sleep, but that's okay. We'll fix that. Okay. And sleeping. Of course, he hit the one that was not immune to sleep out of everybody else in my party, but that's okay. Can you be put to sleep? And then let's just take one of them out. Yes, you can be put to sleep. Okay. That's a bit of a pain in the ass, but well, we'll make it work. Yeah, it halves our accuracy with weapons, so. And Scream can confuse, if I recall correctly, so. That's no good. Since you still are okay in terms of that, let's see, you're sleeping. I don't know if these guys have Circle Para or Circle Sleep. Let's just do that. And then, yeah, let's just keep trying to hit the one that's still awake, basically. Okay. I should probably see what he's barking at. Let the game play itself for a second. Okay, he has stopped and he is laying down, so probably fine. There we go. I guess if we need it, I have elixirs with which to cure all of this stuff, but well, I don't think we're gonna need it all that badly. I'll just heal myself at the end of the fight. It'll be fine. If I ever can hit the guy. I mean, I know I'm blinded, so... Okay, he can self-fix as well, so I should probably use some electricity to end his life. Okay, he's defending too, so that kind of sucks, but that should be enough to take him out. Yep, there we go. And there's some robot parts, so... Do I want to go to a cyborg now and then go to a robot at 17? I don't think so. I think I want to wait. So... but yeah, as you can see, blind, even though it was a permanent status effect in the previous game, it actually is temporary in this game because it was it's completely gone now. So, and that helps a little bit. It means you have to keep less stuff in your inventory. If it wasn't a case where it was if it was a case where it was still a permanent status ailment, I'd probably just keep a Spark spell in my inventory because Spark cures blind or inflicts it on enemies if you want to. Not that I usually want to. It's usually not that great of a status ailment to use. So, but yeah, as I was saying, the South Tower there is completely the same as it was, if I recall correctly. I don't think it changed at all, which also means that the North Tower didn't change at all, because if one of them is the same, the other one stays the same as well. That's just usually the way that it works. So yeah, that'll make it a little easier to not get lost in the sauce here. Why don't you paranail that, and then we'll do that. There we go. I don't know how much HP these griffins have, but I guess we'll find out in a second. Okay, 400 something. That's fine. Yeah, just gang up on the one that's left alive, and then we'll just spread our damage out as we go. Okay, it's a good thing that didn't hit, because that probably would have done like 200 damage. These sylphs they don't mess around. They're not as dangerous as they were in Legend 2 when you fought them, although I made them look like fairly easy, if I recall correctly, when I played Final Fantasy Legend 2, the fairy category of enemies. But yeah, they're not to be messed with. They can still mess you up pretty good if you aren't careful when you fight them. So. And Sylph Meat. Okay, so Sylph Meat would make... Who would that make our Resident Beast? If I wanted to turn somebody into Air Elemental, which is what a Sylph is, it's Air Elemental, I would be feeding this to Curtis. Do I want Curtis to be my Resident Beast? He has the lowest EXP out of anybody. Not that that's really going to matter all that much. Yeah, what the heck. That should work out okay for us, I think. Well, I don't think I want to just yet, actually. I keep thinking I'm going to, but I want to hold off, because, see, here's the thing. We don't have access to the next martial art yet, and the martial arts are the things that beasts get double damage off of, or maybe it's only 1.5 times damage. So because we don't have access to that just yet, we will in, like, a minute or two, basically, but until we have access to that, I don't want to do the transformation just yet. Do these tombstones say anything? No, it doesn't look like it. But anyway, yeah, if you just came here first, it'd be kind of depressing, because it'd be like, oh my god, everybody in Dharm is dead. But actually, there's a secret passage under here. So let's go check it out, shall we? And yes, we've now arrived in the town of New Dharm. So. Oh, but the Elder's dead. That sucks. So yeah, he didn't make it to the future, unfortunately, but ideally everybody else did because of his good leadership, you know. Okay, so that's all there. We can get more elixirs if we need them, but I don't need anything from the item shop, so let's go check out the other shops. Got a new magic shop here. What do you have? You have the stone spell, which is something that I would rather like to get for basically all 3 of the people that are using magic in my party, because if they can't use stone as a monster or a beast or a cyborg, I don't think robots can ever get stone in terms of like a monster ability. But stone is pretty good. It's just as good as it was in Legend 1, basically. It's its own element. It kills enemies in 1 hit. Most things are not immune to it unless they're like a Medusa or like a snake-type enemy. There's like Hydra-looking enemies in this game that are immune to it. But if you're not one of those 2, you're usually not immune to stone. So, or actually, I think the gargoyle enemies are also immune to stone eventually. Not yet, but later on in the game they will be. But very few enemies resist stone, so it's a very solid investment. Excuse me. And that makes it the 3rd of the big 3 statuses in the game, so that's why I'm getting 3 of them, because we're going to use them. So, let's give 1 to Curtis, let's give 1 to Gloria, and let's give 1 to Sharon. And there we go. And again, I may pass around some of the stuff depending on who ends up being, excuse me again, good lord, our robot. But I'll pass it around later. Oh, nice. We're sort of a rebel. We're more like Time Force fighters, but it's a bit of a long story. But yeah, nobody knows in the future knows that New Dharm is here unless you're a rebel, so That'll help us out. It means it's a little easier to almost nice on the gold. But nobody knowing that it's here that's like could do some bad things to us is pretty good for us. It means that these people should be fairly safe. So. Okay, so apparently one of the other water entity demons is Maitreya. I think Kronos mentioned her in the past. She's another one of the people that we have to defeat in order to, well, defeat the whole water entity, basically. Got to defeat the water entity's minions before we can defeat the entity itself. And in order to go to the Pure Land, where the entity actually exists, we need to use the Talon. So we have to get that out of the temple in order to go there, but we'll do that in a little while. Oh, okay, so they've already got a head start on us. Gotcha. Must be more than one Talon kicking around then, huh? Because, well, otherwise how did they get there, you know? But we'll worry about that later. For now, let's go see. Oh, Myron's still here. Nice. Well, then let's go check and see what he's up to. Probably up to no good. Oh, by the way. Yeah, if you want to, you can have Gloria jump around and fly around if you like the sprite better than, you know, just looking at Arthur the whole time. So, I don't know, maybe I'll switch around who's the party leader occasionally, like, you know, once we get all of our transformations in place. So, we'll see. Uh-oh. Oh, so she's like a special chosen one type of a person. Apparently she's capable of drawing one of the Mystic Swords, so that's just fantastic, but that also means we need to go rescue her, so. Yeah, well, that's great and all, but how did Faye get captured then? Did she, you know, walk outside or something for some reason and then get captured? I don't know. It's not good for us, that's all I know. Hey, Lara, how you been? Yeah, I see that. Well, you must have done a pretty good job. I mean, everybody except for Faye has been, you know, in pretty good shape. I don't really need to save here. Myron's not going to attack me. No, he really won't. What's up, Myron? Long time no see. Yeah, it's been a little bit, hasn't it? So the water entity sucked up the old Dharm, the water around thing, encroached on the land and sunk into the ocean, and the Elder is no longer with us, but, well, we're ready to fight for the future, if that, you know, makes it easier. The unfortunate part, yeah, is that the Talon is, kind of stuck, so. Well, that's helpful, then. That is the question, though, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, Maitreya is our next destination. We got to go up to Floatland in order to take care of her. And also, Faye is kind of, you know, captured. So we got to go help her, too. So Dion is in Viper City. Boy, that brings back memories of a game I haven't played yet, but really want to. So we need to go see him. And in order to get in, we need to give the password at Viper City's gates, which is Iraquis? Iraquis? Something like that. It would look familiar to you if you played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, because if you switch around two of the letters, it's Master Iraquis from what's that place called? I forget what it's called. The place where Ven and Aqua and Terra all train. That place. I think that's his name anyway. Honestly, I haven't played Birth by Sleep, so I couldn't tell you specifically, but I'm fairly certain that's who it is. So, okay, but anyway, that gives us an idea of where we can go next. We got to go to Viper City, which is just to the north of here. But before we go there, I'm actually going to... No, I guess we could go there first, because we're not quite level 17 yet. We're close, obviously, but we don't need to worry about our other transformations just yet. We will, but we'll do that in a little bit, so... This game deals with time travel better than many games. Yeah, and it's funny, too, because I think that the way that they structured the story in this was kind of like a beta test almost for them to see what they could get away with in terms of the way they handle time travel and whether or not they know if they're telling a good time travel story. Because a lot of the things that you see in this game directly had an influence on the development team for Chrono Trigger, because if I recall correctly, a lot of the team members that made this game ended up helping out with Chrono Trigger as well. So it's funny the parallels that these games all have, and you can see where their influence was felt in large, like, ripple effects in different games in different parts of the industry all over the place. So It's interesting just seeing all of these games and how they, how they influenced games that came after them, It's interesting to me, anyway. Ah, okay, so the Mystic Sword that Faye is capable of drawing is the Excalibur. No big shock there. I would think Arthur would be the only one who could draw that, but, well, I don't know. Oh, okay, so Borgin traveled, so probably our time period, the time period where Borgin initially came from. Can I use dive here? No. Okay. The one that Borgin came from and that we originally came from was probably further in the future than this. Like, this isn't our future. This is our past, technically. And we... Okay, that's just going to go one way. So the city goes around in a circle, basically. Kind of similar to Venus City in the second game, so... But you have those fancy cars to travel around in this one, so... Password, please. Right this way, sir. Thank you. Okay. So now that we can get through there, we'll go there in just a minute, but let's go explore the rest of the city first before we go back in. Oh, okay. Well, that's good information. I should keep that in mind. We'll just need to find that morph spell so we can go to Mu in the future. We can talk to the water hags that are there. Because the curse, the disease, or whatever that Ashura caused in Mu has completely taken hold of them now. They're all water hags. And if you don't morph into a water hag to talk to them, they will attack you. And it's basically like fighting that mini-boss again, so... Oh, okay. So they came here from the ruined future. Or rather, Borgin came here from the ruined future. Jupaya and Dr. Quasar helped him, and then they all went to the Pure Land together, probably on another Talon, so that they could get a head start on everything. Okay, that's fine. And just like you would expect in the future, there is a fancy department store where everybody can gain access to some decent stuff, no matter what we need. Items, weapons, armor, all that stuff, so... It's all here for us, and actually, probably most of this stuff is a good upgrade for everybody. Now, granted, I only need to buy 3 of any given thing now, because, well, we don't have to worry about that for anybody, so... let's see, we have dragon gloves, so that's the main thing I need to keep in mind. What else do we have here? I got a dragon helmet, Geta shoes, a dragon shield, which I think is about as good as the fire shield, and then dragon armor. So... I don't know what would be better here. I kind of want to hold off on getting anything until we go to the next town that we're going to go to after we talk to Dion here. So let's just check what's in the other spots here. Well, you can get some defense and speed executables for your robots if you don't have those yet. So, or if you need more. Oh, there's some units in Floatland. Okay, so we'll have to keep the radar handy when we go there. This shop sells the heal spell, which is basically this game's Isuna. It lets you... cure any and all status ailments that you could have that could be a problem. So probably I'll take Confuse off of Sharon and I'll replace it with Heal, because that will be a little more useful to us. And I might eventually buy a whole bunch of these, so for later. Just like replace, or rather just stick it in everybody's inventory instead of just having it, in one person's inventory. Actually, Arthur is the one that has Confuse right now, so I'll just buy 1 Heal for now. Ice 2 is a nice upgrade if you're still using your mutants for elemental damage, and then there's Exit, which allows you to escape from a place. Basically, it lets you escape from any dungeon without having to walk all the way out. And I think we get one of those for free, but I'm not 100% sure about that, so I may just buy one because we have the money. I'm not 100% sure about that just yet, though. We'll see. Arthur here, have Heal, and then... give me Confuse, and we'll just get rid of that for now. We don't need it anymore. And let's go see what's at the weapon shop, shall we? Okay, so some halfway interesting weapons. Nothing particularly special that I personally need. A lot of the weapons and armors we really don't need to worry too much about, because when we go to the Floatland, first of all, that's not too long from now. And second of all, when we go there, there will be plenty of really solid upgrades that we can get from there. We'll start getting weapons and armor that give us an increase in our actual stats, like the Psi Knife did. So, alright, so if we slide through here, and by the way, you can move faster by just pressing in the direction of the that you're moving. So like do that and then that, and you can go a little faster. But Yeah, we don't need to worry about that for now. Okay, but that's it. Let's go to the resistance base and see if we can find Dion so we can talk to him. See what's going on. Oh, okay, so there's another doctor, probably a colleague of Dr. Quasar's, named Dr. Pulsar, and he's in a shelter under the sea north of Viper City. We'll go see him in a little bit, too. There's Dion, so let's talk to everybody else first. Okay, cool. Well, that's good, because we got a lot to do, so it'd be kind of hard to be doing that and defending everybody here. There's a water crystal, a birth unit, which I think that provides... It's another option unit, if I remember right. And there's a laser sword, which we can give to somebody. I'll give it to Arthur. What the hell? There we go. Probably a little bit of an upgrade over the gold sword, so... But yeah, I think the birth unit provides... It's another option unit for the Talon. We'll take it on board, and we'll see what it gives the Talon in a couple of minutes once we get out of here, so... Which doctor are you? This is Dr. Belsky. Oh, awesome. Thank you. So, yeah, he acts as a free in for you, if you so choose, or if you so need it. And that's nice, because I don't think there is an inn in this town, so... Anyway, Dion, you're all grown up. Been a little while, huh? Yes, you were. It's been 15 years, and you seem to have grown up into a pretty strong warrior. Yeah. I mean, you're leading the resistance now? That's not too bad. Yeah, we should probably go beat Maitreya. I mean, that seems to be the next step in our plan anyway, so... I guess that's a good point. Why do we need to defeat Maitreya specifically? Oh, okay. So that's why they went to Pure Land to begin with, is because Sol and Faye are in Pure Land and they're stuck there. So Sol was the guy, you may recall from previous streams, that everybody said, oh, he's going to defeat the water entity. He's going to defeat the water entity. He'll save all of us. Unfortunately, now he's been kidnapped to the Pure Land where the water entity is. Probably good because he can go defeat it, and it's easier for him to go defeat it because he's already where it is, but also bad because he can't rally with the resistance to take the fight directly to the water entity and have the numbers game on hand. So now Borgin and everybody else went to the Pure Land and the Talon 2. Like I said, there's another Talon that they've got so that they can give him some backup. And now we need to make our way there. But before we do that, we need to defeat Maitreya, who could probably cause problems for everybody else over here. And she has a unit. But we don't want her to cause any problems while we're gone. And also they have the X-Plane unit, which will allow us to get to the Pure Land. So that's part of it. Hi, Cole.
Hi.
Coming to watch me?
I'm in shock.
Why are you in shock?
I just killed 5 eaters.
Oh.
At once.
At once. Oh.
So remember how in the first game they never had the balls to put you up against more than 2 at a time?
Mm-hmm.
They just threw 3 human types and 2 shell type at me. With no allies.
That's a yikes for me, Chief.
You know, the worst part is, the last boss was worse. They had a Lady Devimon that had X-Aura, and a Mega Seadramon that had every buff skill in the game, and then a Artillery Beamon that had Acceleration Boost and Crit Charge.
Fun! Cole's playing Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory now. He beat the first game, so he's on the second one.
The second one feels like they took all of the bullshit strategies from the first game and then turned them back on the player.
Oh boy. Okay, so how are we going to defeat Maitreya, Dion?
That was a fun thing. Those buffs, you know that Mega Seadramon I mentioned? They never stop spamming them. Ever.
Good.
If you ever play that game, I have one piece of advice for you. Do not be shameful with your evolutions. Grind. Kill them violently.
Okay, well then.
Gun for the Lady Devimon. That X-Aura is hellish.
Nasty, yeah.
I'm gonna go back upstairs and throw myself off the bridge.
Oh, great. Good luck. So anyway, Dr. Pulsar has a plan to get us to the Floatland so we can defeat Maitreya. So we have to go to his undersea shelter and find him. And Dion is going to join us for the trip, and he is pretty damn powerful. As you can see, he's level 21, which should be just about right for when we're going to be keeping him around for. Basically, when they give you guest party members, that's about the level you can expect to be when they leave the party. So, and he's got some good equipment to go with him. I usually don't equip him with anything new, but his dragon sword is really strong. He's got like 71 attack to use it with. I probably could have kept like the plume or something so he wouldn't get put to sleep, but it's fine. It's not really a big deal. Okay, so let's take Dion with us and we'll go explore around in the future. See what we can find on the rest of the area here. And he is a welcome addition because his offense, he can usually one-shot most of the enemies that we'll find out here on the world map, if I recall correctly. So, okay, who wants to see what the water entity looks like finally? We saw it at the beginning of the game, but we can actually go see it now. And you could have seen it at any point in the game if you actually went to the northeastern corner of the map. Right up here. There's the Pure Land water entity. So the area up here is the Pure Land, and unfortunately, you can't just get there by walking right up to it. That encounter was not scripted. It's just a random encounter. So in case anybody was like, whoa, do you just get a new encounter as soon as you get there? No, it was random. So let's see. So why don't we test out our new stone spell? Why the heck not, right? I'll just use Paranail, though, with Gloria. And Sharon can help here, and Dion can help here. Bah! Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good damage that Dion can do there. Not incredible, but I mean, 375, 400 damage, it's pretty good. Now, Stone is a very expensive spell to cast, so it might take a little bit of your MP away, but it'll be all right. Let's see, how much did you use there, Curtis? I mean, I guess it's not that expensive. It's like 20 MP-ish, somewhere in there, probably. But it's, I mean, instantly kills whatever it hits, and most of the enemies at this point in the game don't have that kind of a resistance to it, so. Okay, so Arthur, Gloria, and Sharon got a level up, and as you can see, monsters do not suffer from the same issue the beasts do, where they transform at each given level. They will stay as that monster forever if you don't have them eat new monster meat. So just keep that in mind because, again, when Gloria gets to about Dion's level, we're going to want to have her eat some new monster meat so she can become the next evolution of the baby worm so that she can be a little bit better. But we'll get there. We can go see Dr. Pulsar underwater, or we can go this way, which will allow us to go to the North Tower, which is still right here. This does not get buried underwater, or rather just, what would be the proper nautical term for it getting, I guess sunk would be the best way to put it. It's pretty simple. So yeah, it's not sunk underwater, unlike most of the areas around here. It's 340 to level 17. And like I said, where the South Tower, everything is the same, all the enemies are the same in there. Same thing in the North Tower. The enemies are the same, even though it's 15 years later. So all of those low-level enemies that you can use for monster transformations are still available for you to use in case you want to do some... yeah, submerge. That's a good word, Conquer. That's probably better than just sunk, yeah. But yeah, you can use that for any low-level monsters that you want to use in order to get monster meats or row-up hearts so you can transform. So that's why it's there, basically. They figured, yeah, the player's probably going to want to use that to help them gain access to some better stuff, and so they left it there, completely intact. Now, I don't want to go too far to the west here, because I actually just want to go... you know, I can probably just kill these things with a combination of these two and these three. Yeah. Or Dion might even be able to... No, he didn't quite kill it himself. That's fine. These things have a little bit of defense, so... Not really shocked. Yeah, probably don't even need anything fancy in this battle. Just take care of him. Now, he was defending. If he wasn't, he would have been dead, so... It's okay, though. I mean, they're turtles. I would expect them to defend, you know. They got the shell for a reason, so... But yeah, I don't want to go too far to the west because there's actually nothing in the top left corner of the world map there. But there is this down here, so we want to go see what this is all about before we move along here. Stone U. Paranail U. Help out there. And then go there. Bet! Yep, like I said, Dion's pretty good. He can take care of most of those things in a single hit, so... I don't know why, but the sound effect for Stone also just, I guess it makes me happy just hearing, you know, like that crackling sound effect, you know what I mean? I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just the weird one. I don't care. Doesn't bother me particularly. Let's put this over here. Help Dion out in case, and yeah, we'll go from there. Actually, I probably should have just used Dive, but to be fair, Dion can kill those sylphs in one hit, so it's not really a big deal. So it's just the Viking, really, that we want to kill before we go along here. Nice shots, Arthur. That's 2 mighty blows in as many battles. So that's pretty good, sir. Not bad. I see you've solved some of your accuracy issues, and you're using it now to get critical hits. That's pretty good. Okay, so Curtis should be level 17 very shortly, and then we can head off to the North Tower so we can do stuff there. But before we go there, let's check out this area. Not this area. This area. There we go. Again, I keep pressing A instead of B to get back on land. And this is Elan from the future, so yeah, in case you were wondering, that's what we got here. I don't think they have anything particularly useful at the item shop, but I can sell a couple of things that I don't need anymore, so I want to hold on to that rocket and that birth unit, because both of those will be useful to us. Do you have anything fancy at the shop? Just HP and attack ones, so that way, if you don't have, you have access to defense and speed ones from Viper City, and now you have access to the HP and attack ones because they're here. So, why don't we stick that up a little further? We'll stick it up with the radar, shall we? There we go. How many units are here, anyway? Oh, there's actually none here now that we have the one. So probably they're either in the float land or they're in the pure land now. So, we got the armor shop. A brooch, I'm not 100% sure what that does as a, in terms of what status effect it prevents. It's still not a replacement for the plume, though, because... yeah, it doesn't give me immunity to one of the important things that we have. I'm probably not even going to buy it because in a little bit we're going to be going to a new area and it will have another piece of new equipment in terms of accessories that I actually want. But this place has a piece of armor that I actually want, the mage armor. We're going to buy 3 of these because these give Circle Confuse. And that is really nice to have because now nobody in my party can get confused. And honestly, even though the mage armors don't give the best defense, I mean, it gives okay defense. It's not great, but it's okay. But even though it doesn't give great defense, we're probably going to hold on to them for almost the rest of the entire game because they just give so much. And having that confuse resistance is just that helpful, really. I mean, it's the lack of agility there is going to hurt Sharon just a little bit, but... I'm going to hold on to that Psi armor, though, because there will be a point where it will still be useful to us, so I'm going to stick that right up here. The silver armors, though, I'm going to get rid of. And actually, I really could have only gotten away with buying 2 of those mage armors, because in a second, well, you'll see why once we get our cyborg transformation. Basically, it's also going to be immune to confusion. But until then, I mean, I guess it's not bad to have. Gold armors we don't need, so we don't need gold or dragon armor. Gold shields we could get. You have a fire shield already. Silver, you don't need it. Silver. So the gold shields I guess we could get, but I think I would rather go buy the ones that are available in Viper City. So we're going to go do that. But the mage armor was the important one. That's why we came here first, so that way we can kind of say, okay, this is what I have available, this is what I want, so now we can, you know, kind of slowly cut down on what parts of our inventory we actually want to buy stuff for and what parts we don't, you know. Okay, so we have access to the next... technique, Headbutt, although, yeah, I'm going to buy it, even though there's probably a new one that's going to be available to us very soon, like as soon as we go see Dr. Pulsar, but we still got to go get all our transformations, and we have to go explore the rest of the world map, like we got to go see what's underwater, and we still haven't done that, so. Do I want to get a Tomahawk? I guess I could get a Tomahawk for Sharon while I'm wandering around here, although she's going to be transformed pretty soon, so. Well, I'll get one anyway. It'll help her while she's still human, you know. So, let's see. You have the laser sword, so you keep that. Sharon, you have the tomahawk now. And I'll hold on to the headbutt. We won't give that to anybody just yet. We'll let Curtis keep his psychic knife for now, just because it's still gives him that +5 agility, which will be nice for him. Get rid of the gold sword, keep the headbutts, and keep the psi armor. So the headbutt will be good for our beast, the psi armor will be good for our cyborg, and our robot will just be whatever. So the robot has all these boosters that I've got here for them, so that'll help us out a little bit. let's go look around, shall we? Let's finish looking around in future Elan, see what they have at the magic shop, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, we've heard, so hopefully we're going to do something about that. You could have come to any of these towns first, by the way. It doesn't matter which one you go to. I just figured the one that makes the most sense is to go see the Ifrim tree first, because it's like, well, we don't know where anything is now, but we know where that is, so yeah. This is probably Kronos, isn't it? Yeah. And yeah, in case you didn't go to New Dharm before, he would tell you where you could go. Apparently Granny's still around, though. Oh, that's not good. But yeah, we should probably go to the inn so we can see her. But he'll tell you to go to Viper City if you didn't go to New Dharm yet, so. Yeah, that's what we've heard. We've heard they've turned into, like, the Water Hag curse just turned them all into Water Hags. So that's just great. Gonna have to do something about that when we go there. Actually, I don't think we do anything about that when we go there. We just morph and then we go get what we need and we leave. Well, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing then that he's in the Pure Land. It's a good thing because now he's closer to it so he can stop it, but it's also a bad thing because he doesn't have any backup. Or, well, he has some backup now. I just hope it's enough. Did I already talk to either of you two? Probably not. Yeah, well, that's what we're planning on doing there, lady, so. Okay, so yeah, most of the towns are gone now. They're all submerged underwater. Does mean that there's more sunken treasure for us to find, though, if we go to the, and find some more sunken ships down there. There's 3 more ships that we'll go find once we go underwater. Okay, let me rest the inn real quick, and then we should probably go see Granny. She's right here. I heard you're not doing so well. Well, unfortunately, I can't control directly where the Talon goes in time. It's just 15 years later. Pop, here I come. Pop out, here I come. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could ask them about something. Are you okay? Granny? Oh. Well, that sucks. Yeah, she's no longer with us, unfortunately. That's sad. But she gave us the morph magic before she died, so that at least will help us a little bit. Let's give that to Arthur for now. I'll have to move it to somebody else in a little while, but yeah, we'll hold off on that for a little bit. Let's go see if the magic shop has anything new now that Granny's given us her final gift, and then we'll head off to... Where will I go after that? I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get there. Probably Moo. Or the North Tower. I'll probably go to the North Tower because Curtis is almost level 17, so then he'll be able to get his transformations. Yeah, even 15 years later, I still got to bang my head on that bridge. Oh boy. Anything decent here? Well, we've already got basically all of that stuff, so... Okay, so now I can save the rest of my money for going and buying, some armor from Viper City. And from Moo as well, if we get to that point. I don't know what they have down in Moo. That's the only trouble I find with this game, is that because of the limited hardware, you kind of just have to know what armor is better than other armor, you know what I mean? So, and what armor gives status protection and all that stuff. It doesn't give you any clear indication. It's a little unfortunate, but, you know, I understand why. Technical limitations and all that. So, alright. So now, yeah, if you go directly west from here, you'd end up in Viper City. It just circles you completely around the map, so... How much do you need to the next level, Curtis? 194. Maybe we will go to Moo first, just for the hell of it. Because it should be right around here somewhere. I think. Right up here? Yeah, here it is. Let's go see what's going on in here. Uh-oh. Water hags. Guess we better morph before we get caught. Again, if you don't morph into a water hag here, when you talk to them, they'll just attack you, so... Yeah, that's what they all say, but I don't know about that. See, that would mean you're ill then, so just, you know, being yourself or changing yourself doesn't mean that you're better. If you can't control yourself, then that's an illness, sir. Yes, we are. Hello. Thank you for allowing us to stay at your fancy inn. Why do water hags need a fireplace anyway? Don't they need to stay, like, wet or something so their skin doesn't, like, get super dry and they, like, shrivel up into nothing. I don't know. Well, there's some halfway decent stuff here. Oh, yeah, X-Kick. So that was why I was going to wait, because you don't want to get Headbutt because you can get X-Kick here. Okay, well, we've got enough money. I'll just buy a new one, and we'll just sell the other thing. I think the Adamant Knife is halfway decent as a piece of equipment for your cyborg, if I recall correctly. So yeah, let's just get rid of Headbutt. A little bit of a waste of money, but that's okay. It's not like we have to worry too much about money at the moment. We have a monster in our party, so that makes it a little easier to take. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, probably just something like that, where it's just like, well, they like the light, you know. So, I don't know, it's something. Adamant Knife for my cyborg? Let's see. Yeah, Adamant Knife for my cyborg. I might want to get one for a Psy Sword, actually, for my robot, because I think that provides 5 agility. So yeah, good stuff all around in Moo, basically. I'm going to check that, though, just to see if that's what it does. So Laser Sword, we got 36 agility. Adamant Knife gives... What does that give? Plus 5 magic. Okay, so that's why it's good for your cyborg, because it'll help in that department. This, yeah, Psy Sword does give plus 5 agility, so that'll be good for our robot. I'll leave it on Arthur, why the heck not? So, yeah, good stuff in the weapon shop here, so let's see if the armor shop and the magic shop follow suit. Let's see, these are useful, this is useful, this is no longer useful. Okay, so we'll keep the rest of the stuff. And pretty soon we'll be able to clean up our inventory there, just not yet, so... Once we, you know, get out of here and go get to level 17 and get all those transformations that I need. Although 19 is when we'll be getting our cyborg, so... Well, we can get the fast spell here. That's not too bad of a spell to have around. It will give you... It gives plus 10 attack to whomever you cast it on, so it's almost like a haste or a berserk in your other Final Fantasy games, so that's not too bad. If you still have a mutant, Quake is pretty nice to have because it hits all enemies and it takes advantage of your mutant's ×2 damage multiplier. So that's pretty good. Erase, I forget what that does. I think it might just be instant death, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So, usually I'm not really a big fan of it. I've already got instant death in the form of stone and all that other stuff, so... Excuse me. So probably what I'll end up doing is we'll go back to Viper City after I get some of the transformations, and I'll end up, maybe I'll buy Quake, in case I keep Curtis. Well, you know what, let me get my transformations that are at level 17 first, and I'll find out if I'm keeping him. Oh yeah, you can run into monsters here, I forgot about that. Yeah, even though you're disguised, you can still run into the monsters that you would normally find out on the world map here. So that's great. Let's see, Dion can probably take care of that guy in one hit, so... Curtis, why don't you keep stoning people? Paralyze that one. Help out over here. Dion, take care of that guy. Dion, kill it! Okay, he was poisoned, but that's okay. He didn't quite take care of it in one hit, but... That's alright. Oh yeah, Paranail's a physical move, isn't it? So it might be a little hard to hit all this stuff. Well, I'll just use magic then instead. Or, here's a better idea. Well, no, I guess I don't have to run from this battle. I mean, there's only 3 enemies left, and one of them's dead, so... Or, practically dead. So... Can't be that bad, right? Yeah, why don't you help out over here? You use stone over here, and then everybody else just attack this guy. One of you, I'm sure, will hit him. Yep, there we go. To kill him. And then the rest should be fairly simple, I think. There we go. Well, stone didn't work, but, well, Sharon got him. Good. Very good. Okay, Viking meat. That is water elemental meat. And that'll turn... I want this to turn somebody into earth elemental. To be the beast at the moment. So that would turn Curtis into a beast. That's not what I would rather have at this level. Right? Yeah, he's not level 17 yet. Getting really unlucky with these drops in terms of who can get what here. But that's okay. It's not a huge deal. This should be the only time where I really have to, like, metagame all this stuff, though. Like, where I really have to figure out, okay, who wants what here? Because after that, it's pretty easy. Once you get everybody to the classes that they're going to be, it's pretty much just, okay, just maintain that for the rest of the game, you know what I mean? Like, if you need to do a new transformation, do it. So, these 2 warehouses we've already been in, so they don't have anything new in them, but that other one that was up there should be built now, so let's go check it out. I mean, after we talk to the other water hags that are here. Oh, okay, gotcha. So, Zagor is the person that created the water entity. It isn't... it's not really a malevolent entity by itself, but Zagor is making it malevolent. So we'll have to go take care of him to stop it from being a problem once and for all. So that's the plan. And we'll get there in a moment. Let's just, well, not a moment. It's going to be a few episodes before we get to that point, but we'll get to the rest of this in a little bit. Shades provide you protection from blind, so if you're seeing that causing problems, it may be worth your time to, get that fixed. Speed helmets might not be too bad, actually, because speed helmets give you +5 agility, and those would be better than what we have at the moment. Let me look at my equipment. We have gold helmets at the moment, so... yeah, I'll get speed helmets, why not? Okay, so we're cutting into our money a little bit, but that's all right. We'll get more of it, no big deal. Speed boost, there we go. Get a little defense out of it too, so that's also good. Let's see, you can have that. You can have that. So yeah, if you have to pass up armor because you don't have enough money yet, don't worry too much about it. It's the amount of defense that armor gives you from one thing to the other, from one upgrade to the next, isn't terribly large, so you can usually get away with entirely skipping out on most armor from like one town. Like if you need to skip out on armor and wait until the next town to buy it, you can usually get away with that. It's not usually a huge deal, especially if you're going to use a robot where you could just buy 1,500 gold defense things, and you can pop those, and that gives you, a decent amount of defense by themselves. So. Oh, okay, so the residents of the Pure Land are actually, they want to get out of there before the water entity kills all of them, so that's great. What did you say? Hang on, let's go back. Oh, yeah, so it probably has to do with Excalibur that they were talking about before. That's why they took Faye. She's not exactly a child anymore, but, Oh, okay, gotcha. So it had to have been Faye. That's why it couldn't have been Arthur. So that's to be a special female specifically. Oh, okay, interesting. So yeah, there's a whole lot going on right now. When you first get to the future, it's a lot to take in, kind of, because you aren't given explicit directions on where to go. There's a lot of things going on all at once, but the game will slowly drip feed you all of those different things, even though they're giving you hints and information about what's to come, so... But, yeah, it's not something we got to particularly worry about for now, because we're not in the Pure Land, so we don't got to worry about lost magic until we get there. So we ain't gonna worry about it. We're just gonna go. Okay, so if I go back to Viper City now, I want to get shields. Shields would be a good idea, and then boots would be a good idea. Okay. What does the pendant give us? Curse immunity. Okay, so maybe the shades would be better, but we're going to be getting something new in the accessory department very shortly, so I'm not really too worried about it for now. Okay, but that's all for Moo. Some good stuff here, though, so that'll help us a little bit. Curtis, how are you doing in terms of level 17? 103. Okay. Let's go take care of the underwater ships that are left over before we move on, because that should give us enough experience for Curtis to get up to 17. The next one is over here. So we're going to go this way, slightly off this way, and then back under. And it's one of these two. I forget which one we've already been to. But we'll find out in a second, because if the treasure chests are closed, then we haven't been here yet. But if it's open, well, obviously we haven't been here yet. Okay, just a couple of skeleton crack-a-lacka. That's fine. Let's see here. What do we want to use in these guys? They're probably immune to sleep, because most of these guys are immune to sleep at this point, so... Why don't we just do what we did before, where we just have 3 people and then 2 people? Because Dion will provide plenty of offense with which to beat these guys up. Not enough to kill them outright, but with the help of somebody else, yeah, as you can see. Should be able to do pretty good for them. Okay, cool. Not a whole lot of stuff there, but that's okay. So, what are you exactly? What kind of cyborg are you? Doesn't matter what kind of cyborg you are, because you would help me get to a robot. You know what? I should use the FAQ. I'm off of my chat again, so apologies if anybody says anything that I don't explicitly see right away. I will make every attempt to look and see what you've said after I check this out. So transformations are at bracket 13 in this FAQ. Yes. Cool. You are a fire-air cyborg. Okay. So here's my question then. If I have you... Let me look at my notes here real quick. So fire and... So what it is because there's only 2 different types of cyborgs and robots at each level. They count for 2 elements. They count, in this case, this cracker enemy counts as fire and air elemental. So what would that give us if we transformed into them? Let's see. Because I could have Sharon take this. That would make her either air or water. So if it turns her into... What are the ones at this level? Dullahan and Ronin. Okay. So if it turns her into a Dullahan, that means it uses the... that means it uses the same parts. So like fire air plus earth or water would make you fire air. But if it turns her into a... Let's just do it so that I can test and see what it does, shall we? Okay, so that turned her into a Dullahan, which means it turned her into the earth-water elemental cyborg for this level. So that means that she was earth, and she consumed... So that would mean that that's considered air elemental parts. Okay, so that would mean that probably, if I had to guess, I would say cyborgs use water and air, whereas in the transformation chart, that is, they use water and air elemental, whereas robots use earth and fire in the transformations, in terms of what it points to. When it says, okay, so you ate this and you were this, so now you're going to turn into this, you know? So Sharon probably is going to end up being our robot now that I got this transformation. Dullahan's not a bad cyborg, but it's not the one that I particularly want. So since she got that, we'll probably turn her into our robot once we find some robot parts. Now, what parts would I need to turn her in, to use her to give her to turn her into that robot? That's the question. I want her to be fire air, and she is currently earth water. So if she's in water, she would need to eat the earth robot for that level, which is Spectrats. So if we find Spectrats or Brats in the North Tower, she can turn into the robot that we need. And we need to do that before we get to level 19, basically. Okay, so yeah, like I said, there's a little bit of metagaming going on here that I have to do in order to make sure that we get what we need, but we'll get there. So, not a big deal. Okay, so these probably won't help me too much, although they're water elementals, so I guess I could use them for a beast transformation if I so choose. Let's just stone one of them. Nail one of them. You're a cyborg now, so you can't really do as much damage with your weapons as you could before. Although she does have access to Psychic Blast, but it got significantly nerfed in this game, so it's not nearly as good as it was. It does very little damage, if any at all. So it's not really worth using, unfortunately. A lot of the talents that were good in previous games ended up getting significantly nerfed in this one. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's, you know, they're doing it for balancing issues, and it ends up making things that were good not so good anymore. Kind of sucks, but that's the way that it works. You can use dive now. You just keep attacking. Everybody home in on this one, because this one's the one that isn't statused. So once he's done, it's just easy pickings. Yeah, the Dullahan line of cyborgs isn't all that bad. It's just, it's not the one that I specifically want. The one that I want has some better talents and has better status protection. Namely, it has confuse protection, so that'll help us out a little bit. We don't really need to heal just yet. We're fine. We're fine for now. Oh yeah, and I guess I could make mention of the fact that Sharon's stats right now are directly dependent on the pieces of equipment that she has on right now. So how does it work? The top 4 provide HP bonuses to her. The bottom 4 provide MP bonuses to her. This top row provides attack, this row provides defense, this row provides agility, and this row provides magic. 100% sure about that, but I think that's how that works. So generally speaking, the priority for armor now is going to be to whoever your cyborg is, because your cyborg is going to be the one that needs the best armor in order for their stats to be maximum. Okay, so the next ship is southwest of the ship that we were just at, but I don't want to go there yet. I want to go to the North Tower now so we can get the transformations that we want. Let's see. This is a bit of a tricky one, huh? We should probably kill the Sylphs first. Should probably stone this one. Paranail, you do that, and then Dion. Why don't you try taking out one of the things here? Because I think, yeah, you can one-shot them, so. Yeah, don't let them fool you. I know they're just using nail and dive at the moment, but if they were using their magic, it would not be very pretty for us. So. Okay, so we'll let him be paralyzed. That Sylph is done. And well, other than that, we got a little bit left to go, but not too much. Let's see. So the Viking has nothing going on. This Igosaur has nothing going on. I guess just we'll double up on a few things. Dive, and then weapon there, and then weapon there. And Dion's probably going to kill this in one hit, but that's okay. And then we'll just redirect. Okay, so she redirected onto that one, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter which one she redirected onto because that one's paralyzed. So as long as the other 3 were able to kill this monster, or the monster that was below this monster, it's fine because now we can just all gang up on the one. Status effects. Very, very helpful. In debilitating your enemies. This is actually, it's funny because this game has like some of the best status effects in most video games that I've played. So, is that Elan? Yeah, that's Elan. Okay. So, we're gonna go slightly northeast here. We'll go back to the Talon and put in that birth unit as well pretty soon, but not just yet. Oops, that's the wrong button. There we go. So Curtis, you're 17 now. Fantastic. Congratulations, my friend. We're going to be doing some transformations for Sharon, first of all. And then second of all, either you or Arthur. I'm not sure which one just yet was going to be our resident beast. But yeah, only one of each thing now we need to worry about. So Tom-Toms for Sharon. So that Tom-Tom. Orbrat. Orbrat is what I'm looking for Sharon so that she can become a... the robot that I want her to be. I'll explain what it is when we get that far, but we'll get that far before too long. And then I don't know what one of you wants to be yet, but we'll figure it out. I want, at level 17, I want to specifically get the Earth Elemental Beast. So we'll see what I can get out of all of this. That will help us get that. And now that we have Dion, it'll actually make this go a little quicker because we have 5 party members, so we can actually kill 5 things instead of 4. And I mean, if I bought Quake for Curtis, I guess we could kill them all in one hit, but it's fine. Just doing this is not really going to take too long either. So, okay, Orb Rats. We want to kill those, so that's good. This is a battle that we definitely want. And if we get those, it'll be helpful, because then Sharon can get her transformation. Okay, let's kill the last one. Nothing. Alright, that's fine. Let's just keep fighting. Won't take long. Okay. There's Dash. That ain't gonna do a whole lot now, because you guys are way low level compared to me. So, nothing there either. Alright, well, we'll keep fighting that battle when we find it. I'm gonna keep fighting these battles as well, because I might get... Well, actually, hang on. Let me see what Arthur and Curtis turn into here. So that's Earth Elemental Meat or Water Elemental Meat from those beasts. So Curtis would transform into either a Fire or an Earth Elemental Beast. So I actually could get some good stuff out of this fight for him. Arthur would turn into either a Water or an Air Elemental Beast out of this one. So this would be purely a Curtis battle in terms of what would be useful to us. And I'm kind of, honestly, I would rather Arthur be our resident beast compared to this, because Curtis being our resident cyborg would allow him to have a couple of levels where I can actually use Quake to some effectiveness, so I might be able to go back and get that, you know. So what would Arthur need to get in order to be the Earth Elemental one? He needs Air Elemental Beast or Monster Meat. So the Air Elemental Beast that's in here would be like Sprite, and maybe Ravens if they're available in here, but I don't think they are, so... Okay. Well, let's see what we can find. So we'll look for Air Elemental Beasts or those Orb Rats for Sharon. And I think that'll be good in terms of what does what here for us. There's a little bit of testing going on here, because even this far along, some transformations in this game are not exactly as clear-cut over across the internet as I would like them to be. Specifically with cyborgs and robots, because sometimes what they transform into is a little bit nebulous, because they could be 2 different things, 2 different elements. So, because there's only 2 of them. I don't think it is, Conquer. I think it's just dependent on whether or not the enemy died in battle. I don't think it's dependent on the last enemy that you defeated in battle, because I think we've been getting some monster meat that's been from monsters that we've defeated first in battle. So I don't think it's directly dependent on what you beat last. I guess I could try it and see if that makes any difference, but I don't think it's directly dependent on that. And of course now, because I'm saying that, I'm going to defeat those Orb Rats last, and they're going to drop their parts. Because why not? Okay, no Air Elemental anything in this battle, so let's get the heck out of here. Same thing here. Alright. Yeah, I don't even know if there are sprites available in here. Although those sylphs that we were finding in Moo could provide us with the meat that Arthur would need to be our resident beast. So, just in case I don't get what I want out of the other stuff. Although this could work in terms of just making Curtis that. But still, again, I really want to use Quake. I just want to attack all enemies. Soften them all up. So I'm not just spamming stone all the time, you know. Because, well, if I'm just spamming stone all the time, it would work. It would work just fine, but, you know. It might get a little boring. I'd rather use the stones to kill all enemies at the same time rather than just one at a time, you know. Thought it had a partner because you recently booted up P5R. Okay, yeah, that might, you know, depending on how the games influenced one another, I could see how that could make a difference. Okay, flower. We don't want that. Right? We want Orb Rat. And actually, can I reset easily? I can't reset easily. So I guess I won't even bother showing what would happen if I got that, so... Yeah, this game doesn't have a soft reset like Final Fantasy Legend 1 and Legend 2 did, where you can just press all of the face buttons and it resets the game. You actually have to exit to the main menu and then reselect the title from the collection's title select menu if you reset. So I'm trying not to reset if I can, because that's not helpful to us. Just like this battle. I could go to the next floor and see what's available up there as well, if I really want to look for stuff. But mainly here, I'm just trying to get the robot for now, because then we're going to be going back anyway. We're going to be going back to Mu anyway, more than likely. Maybe. And I mean, we got to go down underwater anyway to go see Dr. Pulsar, and to go to the other 2 ships, so yeah, we'll see what we can do. Alright, come on, Orbrat parts. Ask and you shall receive! Awesome. Okay, so now let's hope that this does what I want it to do here. What'd you got, Sharon? Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. So, that was the Earth-Water robot, and she was an Earth-Water cyborg, so that flipped her element when she turned into a robot. She's now a fire-air elemental robot. And she's actually probably the best robot that you can get at this particular point in the thing. Although you may be saying, well, wait a minute, MCR. What the hell happened to her stats? Why do her stats suck so bad? Well, that's how robots work in this game, is that they have very low base stats by comparison to what the regular robots that you would fight in the field have. If you fought a Valkyrie in the field right now, it would have a lot more than 106 HP. It'd probably have closer to 500. But that's what you have all of those pills for, all of the defense and attack and HP and speed and all that stuff. That's what these are for. These will permanently raise her stats no matter what. As long as she stays as a robot for the remainder of the game, even if she upgrades into a new robot, she will keep these stat boosts from these executables for the remainder of the game. I'm going to call them chips, I guess, because, I mean, they don't look like chips, they look like pills. Actually, no, I know what it is. It's a DBZ reference. These are supposed to be capsules. That's what they're supposed to be. So HP capsule, attack capsule, defense capsule, speed capsule. So that now it works because it could still have robot parts in it. But you install these on your robot and it gives them a permanent status boost. So like, let's use the HP one. It would give her, okay, it gave her 31 HP. So let's just keep using them. If you try to use them on anybody else, they won't have any effect though, so. Like, not even on humans. Humans can't use them, even though this is basically what the HP potions and the attack potions and all that stuff was in previous games for them, so. I think I need more HP potions. Or HP capsules. Those would probably be more useful for us. So let's burn all the ones that we have for now. And then see what our stats end up being after we burn them all. Each attack, defense, and speed capsule, I think, gives about 3 of each point, so it should make her stats a little better looking once we're done with it. And to be fair, her HP isn't bad now. It's just slightly less than it was before, so. Oops. And speed. I think if I remember right, in order to max her out, I end up needing, like, I think it's exactly 16 of each one when she gets to her final transformation later in the game. Whoops. I just gave that to Arthur. Well, we'll have to buy a new one. That's okay. But yeah, I think I need exactly 16 of each for her. But yeah, those stats look a little better now, huh? That didn't do anything to Arthur, though, right? No, it did nothing to Arthur. He still got 46 agility. Okay, but we got the transformation that we wanted for Sharon, so that's good. We should probably go get her more HP capsules, though, because 362 isn't bad, but I'd rather she be up closer to where Gloria is, so maybe get her, like, 3 more. But I think for the stats, it's just 12 of each. It's just the HP one requires a lot more. Okay, that takes care of that. The HP and attack ones, were they in Elan? I think they were in Elan, so that's where we're going to go. And then we'll go to Mu, and we'll go to the ships and everything like that, so. All right, Arthur, take us down. Although, here's the thing, right now, Sharon has no MP, so her magic, I should actually move to Arthur, because he has MP still, so he'll be able to use it. So now Sharon will be the one that's going to be casting Float and Dive for the remainder of the game. Heal and Morph, I'll keep on separate people, as they're like, almost like an exclusive spell for each person there, you know? So it's not specifically exclusive, but... well, I guess actually, yeah, it would be specifically exclusive to them, because one person would get Heal, one person would get Morph, and one person will get Exit eventually. So I just gotta decide who's who for that. Give you Float, give you Dive, there we go. Morph, so who's gonna get Morph? I guess Arthur, because he's up front, so it makes sense that he'd be the one that would choose to have everybody Morph. Heal, I still have in here somewhere, I think. Yeah, there it is. We'll give that to Curtis. He's going to have Quake as his exclusive spell for a little bit, so maybe we'll give it to Gloria, and then he'll have Exit as his exclusive once we get it. So, okay, so I have a plan. And let's see, so who has... You have the Psy Sword right now, so I'm going to take that off of you, actually. And we're going to give that to Sharon, and we'll give the Tomahawk to you. She could use the extra agility. So that'll be nice for her, and then you can have the Tomahawk. I know that reduces your agility, but that's okay. Now I want to move a few things up. So the Birth unit will move up right there. X-Kick, Psi Armor. I should put that on Sharon, actually. Right? No, I bought the Psi Sword for that. I have the Psi Armor for my Cyborg? I don't freaking know, man. I'm just spitballing. Okay, but anyway, the Mage Armor is still good for all of them. It still gives them Circle Confuse. Let's check out Sharon's talents, shall we? So yeah, she's got some pretty decent talents. So Circle Confuse and Circle Sleep are from the equipment, which robots can still make use of. But she also has Circle Para by default, which you can see down here. She has access to a paralyzing talent, which allows her to paralyze things without having to use any MP, which is good because she doesn't have any to begin with. But she also has Drop, which is a really nice attack. I think if I remember it, it's Ice Elemental, but it has a really high attack multiplier. And it's not based on your mana stat. Robot abilities are not based on mana, even if they're elemental, like Laser and Freeze, which I think is Fire and Ice Elemental, respectively, if I remember right. She also comes with Soften, which is a really nice debuffing move for bosses. It reduces a boss's any enemy, really, but it's mainly used for bosses. Reduces their defense by 15 points, which is pretty solid. It's probably the best of all of the debuffs in the game, because most of them only reduce stats by 10 or 5, so it's pretty good. Valkyrie and its line of robots is probably one of the best things that you can get for your party in the game. They're just really solid through the whole game. So, well, I say that, but they're only really solid starting from this level. I mean, you can get one at level 5 and you can get one at level 11, but at level 5 and even at level 11, you probably just don't have the enough money to really make the robot useful. But now, because we have so much money, we can make them more useful. So, well, there goes the float land again. Alright, so let's go get more HP capsules for Sharon there, now that she's in her transformation. And then we'll go back to Moo? Or we go back to Viper City. I'm gonna get I'll get 4 more of these. What the hell? We probably need quite a few of them anyway, though, just to, get us some, to get the stats up pretty good. Okay, 394, 429, so she'll have the highest HP out of anybody. Yeah, she's pushing almost 500 at the moment, so that's pretty good for her. We'll get better stuff in a little while in terms of that. Well, basically, we'll just boost her stats with stuff that gives her extra points in her stats, and in terms of equipment. And then using the capsules later, because her stats can actually get really, really high. I don't think attack, defense, and agility can go above 99, even if you use capsules for them. But, excuse me, if you use capsules to get them to the soft cap of 99, and then you equip her with equipment that boosts it anyway, it'll boost her even higher than that. So she'll end up having, at this point, she could have 104 agility if we got up at that point, but that's not really necessary at this point. That's a little overkill, So, okay. Let me see now where to. We can go to Moo next, because that's where I want to encounter those sylphs. So let's go do that, and then we'll. Although, you know, we could go to the ships first before we go back to Moo to encounter them. Let's go to the ships first, and then we'll go do the rest of this. And actually, I should probably go put that birth unit into the Talon as well before we... basically, I want to do everything I want to do in the world before we go see Dr. Pulsar. Because once he gives us the plan, we can go initiate our travel to the Floatland. And once we go to the Floatland, there's a lot less freedom for us to do stuff after that point. Because once we go there, we can't come back until we're done with what we need to do there. So, yeah, we need to finish up anything we're going to finish up here first. And then we'll go from there. So... do I need you to stone that guy? I don't think so. I think I just need you to dive, and then... Why don't you use drop on that guy? Actually, no. Why don't you use drop on the guy that Curtis is attacking, and then Dion can one-shot this guy. And we can see how much damage drop does. Bah! Okay, that's not too bad. It's about what I would expect. Well, were you thinking it was going to do a significantly larger amount of damage? No, that's not yet. We'll get that significantly larger amount of damage later. It's the robot's abilities that they have right now are not like ridiculous. Once we get the next robot upgrade by installing new robot parts after this, that's when we'll get the ridiculous damage will start happening. So, Viking meat. So that's water elemental meat. Curtis eats that, or if Arthur eats that. If Arthur eats that, he ends up air elemental. If Curtis eats that, he ends up earth elemental. Actually, either of those works, honestly. And whether or not I'll get this chance again is kind of up in the air. Okay, so Arthur, can you eat this when you're poisoned? Yes, you can. Okay, perfect. And we transformed into an air elemental beast, Loki. Awesome. So Loki's not the best one at this level, but when we go to level 18 and about 200, 300 experience, we'll get the best one at this level, the earth elemental monsters. Typically, earth elemental monsters, beasts that is, starting from level 17 on, are the best monsters of the bunch when you're looking at them in terms of the amount of like stats and the amount of skills that they have and everything like that. So, but yeah, I mean, Loki's still nothing to cough at. Look at how much MP he's got. Stats are pretty good all the way around the board. He's got great HP and MP. Check out his talent list as well. I mean, nothing particularly useful here. Silence, I guess, but yeah, Circle Quake, Circle Mute, nice. And that martial arts technique that I just gave him, the X-Kick there, will be a pretty solid damage-dealing skill for him. So yeah, that works out pretty nicely. And now that we have that transformation, I can actually return to Moo, and we can go buy that Quake spell that I wanted. So let's go do that. And we still got to morph, just because we will need to morph in order to get in order to talk to these people, so I can rest at the inn and do all that other stuff. Okay, so Curtis will still stay where he is, but he'll be our resident cyborg, so I'll just need to find an air elemental... Actually, which elemental cyborg do I want? So we want to get the fire and air cyborg at level 19, and he himself is air elemental. And we established before that Sharon turned into the Dullahan at that level. So if cyborg parts follow that chart, that means that they use water and air in the transformation chart. So I would need to find an air elemental cyborg or robot for Curtis to consume. So that would be... Once he gets to 19, so like one of the cracker enemies that we fought already, maybe a Rumorer, and I think that should get him what I want. Okay, I probably won't need that chart anymore, so I'll just close that off. Oh, hey, there's the speak of the devil. There's one of the monsters that I was talking about, but we won't be dealing with that for right now. And yeah, other thing about beasts that's pretty nice, they're perfectly capable of using magic to kill things, so that That will be of significant help to us. So that's what we're gonna work on that now. And now you see how all of this is sort of working out to where all these status effects will become very good for us, because we've got all this. We have so much status that we can use on all these enemies to incapacitate them. Even if we don't have attacking magic in a lot of cases, it still works out pretty nicely for us. And I apologize if the paralyzed sound effect is a little grating on the ears. It's a little high-pitched. So, oh, I tried to paralyze the same person. Well, that's not very smart of me now, is it? So why don't you three gang up on that guy? And then you and Dion just drop this worm, Giga Worm. I think he can use Quake, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Okay, he's dead, so it doesn't matter. Blech! Not bad, Arthur, not bad. Doing a little better than even Sharon there. And this guy's paralyzed twice, so he probably won't be doing a whole lot for the rest of the battle now. But yeah, you can kind of see how the party sort of comes together now. It's not just a matter of, well, you know, we've got some weaker links here or anything like that. No, it's still a pretty solid party, even though we've kind of moved things around a little bit. Did I take any damage there? No, I've got a little MP missing, but that's okay. I mean, I have 600 of it, you know, with Arthur. It's not like one stone is going to cause any problems now for him. All right, let's buy Quake for Curtis. And slap that bad boy right in there for him. This Tomahawk I can get rid of now. So we'll do that. There you go, Curtis. Put that there. Adamant Knife, Psi Armor, Birth Unit. Tomahawk we'll get rid of. I don't know why I'm selling it to the magic shop, but I usually try to do that when I play games where I go to the correct shop to sell stuff. So, like, I'll try to sell weapons at the weapon shop and armor at the armor shop. I probably think I can safely blame Skyrim for that. Because usually that's what I'll do, is I'll sell, like, all my weapons and armor to a blacksmith in that game, because they're, like, that's all you can sell to them, you know what I mean, to make up some of the money that you're using when you're buying materials and stuff from them, so. So same deal as before. Second verse, same as the first. Are any of you... Yeah, the Griffins are actually have Circle Quake. I can just tell you that because, well, they're flying, so of course they do. So Quake won't be that useful for us yet, but it will be useful for us soon. Yeah, you do that. Paralyze. Let's see. So we're paralyzing the top two and then the bottom Griffin. Paralyze that one and then do that. Okay. That should work. Or rather, we're stoning and then paralyzing. Yeah, stone, para, and sleep. Those are the golden trio. The big three. I could even use sleep in the rest of this battle, although I probably won't need it because the cracker on the left will be... He's immune to sleep. Their family line is usually immune to sleep, so it's usually a lost cause if you try to have them do that, so... Not really worth it. I guess we could test laser while we're here. Probably won't ever use it all that much, honestly. It's not really all that great. Well, let's use a few of Sharon's other talents. Why the heck not? As you can see, not as good as just dropping them. I guess that's the thing with robots, really, especially in this particular line of robots, is that they have some pretty diverse talents. It's just that you usually end up using only one or two of them because only one or two of them are... They're just flat out better than the rest of them, you know. It's still a pretty good robot, but, you know, it's not as good as it would be if all of them were useful for different situations, I guess. Gloria, you haven't used, like, hardly any of your MP, so we'll have you heal. And that actually is a good thing, because that means that usually monsters in the later parts of the game end up being very good healers, because they have talents that allow them to bypass using their MP for anything. It's the same thing with beasts later on. For right now, Arthur's on a beast that just doesn't have a whole lot of great talents, so we end up having to use his MP. But, yeah, for him, eventually he'll also gain access to some really solid stuff. So... let's paralyze you, and you kill the other. There we go. We might get to use freeze in this battle, just so I can show it off. I probably should have saved the Giga Worms, actually, because if they're weak to ice, freeze would have done pretty good against them there. Actually, it'll still do good against the one that's paralyzed, so it's not a big deal. And this is a first strike anyway, so it's not like this battle is going to be particularly difficult no matter what. I don't think you can reorder skills in this game, unfortunately. I think I can try on the talent menu, but I don't think it lets you, so... let's try freeze over there, shall we? And then you just attack that guy. Blech. So that everybody else redirects after they, do their stuff. Okay, he's strong against ice, so it's not going to be as good, but it doesn't do too bad of damage. I mean, it's not going to be like the kind of damage that you're going to get out of a mutant if they're using a weakness element or anything like that, but it's still not bad for your robot. So, is Laser Fire Elemental, actually? Let's check it out. I might not get to check it out, because Dion's going to go now and kill that Giga Worm in one hit. That's okay. Okay, so there you go. So now Arthur has transformed because he got a level up. Now, robots will not transform, similarly to cyborgs and monsters. But Arthur, being a beast, he transformed into a Medusa, which makes him the best monster that's available at this point. Curtis is still 17, so I don't need cyborg parts, but let's check out our new monster. So yeah, slightly less on the HP and MP department, but the stats are pretty good. And in addition to that, if you look at Arthur's talents, not only does he have Circle Stone, he also gains access to Stone Gaze, which allows him to cast Stone for free. So as if it wasn't bad enough that we had Stone to begin with now, he can also now cast Stone for free. So, that's great. Might be getting sent to jail for 2 more months again. Ah, that sucks, Conqueror's Twin. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you get a good lawyer. Maybe they can help you get you out of it. Morrison's DA raid your house. Found oh my god. Who put that stuff up there? That's not a good hiding place. Oh boy. Well, like I said, hopefully you get a good lawyer and they can get you out of it, because that would suck. Or at least get you community service or something, That would be nice. Male Medusa. Never thought I'd see the day. Actually, yes I did, because I've used a male Medusa previously when I've played this game, so... Oh good, I end up in basically the right place. I think Dr. Pulsar's lab is right up here, but we want to go find those other ships first, so we're going to go do that first. Let's test out our new Stone Gaze, shall we? I don't know if that guy's immune to stone, actually, but I don't think any of these enemies are immune to Quake! So that'll be nice. Para there. Why don't you drop there, and then just do that. Alright, get him, guys! Bet. Nope, not immune. Perfect. For free! And yeah, Quake with a mutant, really, really good damage. Does a lot of damage. Quite worth the effort, so. And once you're done stoning everything to death, you can just wallop them with your judo throws, or your, in this case, X kicks, or axe kicks, whatever you want to tell, so. Oh, the feds took a look at your search history? Yeah, that's no good. It's never good when the feds go through your search history, because it never ends well for anybody, frankly. It doesn't really matter who you are, it doesn't usually end well. Okay. So Gloria's getting up there. Eventually, when she gets to 21, we'll need to find more air elemental monsters for her to eat meat from. It can't be beasts, by the way. It has to be air elemental monsters for her to eat their meat so that she can transform again. And Curtis, you'll get to 18 soon, so you'll be closer to where I need you to be in order to get what I need. The transformation that I want. Where is this other ship? Oh, it's right down here. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I know it's here somewhere. It's right over here. Never ends well when anyone looks at your search history because you have to spend more money on planting endangered plants. Yeah. Yeah, that's precisely the problem there. Just in case Stone Gaze doesn't work. And then Paranail. And just in case Paranail doesn't work. Oh, and by the way, Freeze, by the way, can attack a group. If you just press up on the group, it'll attack a group. So just in case you want to do that. Laser, because it's only 2 Grey Wolves, it's fine. Oh, no, I believe it. That's got to be an expensive... would that be considered a hobby? I guess it depends on, how much fun you have doing it? I don't know. Okay, well, Grey Wolf ain't gonna be too much of a problem now. And then... Actually, you can use your weapon. I'm using drop as if it's like, you know, the be-all, end-all here, but she can use her weapon just as effectively. It might do about as much damage, honestly, just because of her raw stats that Sharon has there. Okay, so this fight, yeah, stone that guy. 297. Yeah, sure, quake everything. Why the heck not? They're not immune. Paranail over here, drop right there, and attack that. There we go. But yeah, between drop and quake, that should be enough to take care of that. Is that a nightmare in the middle? I didn't see what its name was. Yeah, nightmare. Should be enough to take care of it. And it softens up everything else, so we can just pummel everything else. So that's pretty good. And I mean, it's 20 MP, so again, not really a big deal. Kind of a drop in the bucket. I mean, Curtis has not the best MP. He's got like 380 something at this point, something like that. So it's not huge, it's not super high like it is in the case of Arthur, but 377. Okay, so he's not too bad off. But he can cast quite a few quakes before he can't anymore, so. There's an Earth Crystal. And then more monsters. Oh good, this will actually give me an opportunity to test out Freeze, won't it? Although it won't do a whole ton of damage because it splits the damage across the enemies that it uses. Unlike Quake, which does not split damage, it just does a flat amount of damage to everything that it hits. But they are still weak to this, so it should still do decent damage, and between that and Quake, we'll probably take care of them. So let's let the game play itself real quick while I take water and go from there. Okay, well, 100 damage ain't bad. Probably won't kill them all with Quake, but, you know. We'll get there. So, Stun Gaze you, Paranail the other one. See how this does. Oh, good, Grey Wolf is weak against Quake, so that takes care of that for us. Okay, and that paralyzes one of the cacti. And that paralyzes Gloria. They got Gloria! That's okay. Let's see how much Sharon's weapon does, if I can have her use it before we kill everything else. Yeah, it's the only problem that Gloria's going to have for the rest of the game, is that her status immunities, if they are using something that she isn't immune to, it's going to be a bit of a problem. We'll fix that eventually, because we'll be able to... Well, actually, we won't fix that for her. It's going to be a problem forever, unfortunately. We'll fix it for everybody else, though, because we'll be able to get stuff that blocks statuses and all that, you know, so. And a Cure 2 for you, and a Cure 2 for me, and a Cure 1 for Dion. And a Cure all around, because Gloria's got plenty of MP to use it. And there's a Sandman helmet for us. I think that's worse than what we have, but I think it casts Sleep when you use it. Definitely worse than what we have, because we have Speed helmets, so... Yeah, I'm just gonna sell that. That's not even really all that worth it. We have Sleep for people that we need it for, you know? So. Okay, so that's the second ship. Now the third ship is east-southeast of this ship. Okay, I have it listed in my notes. It's like the first one was west of Mu, the second one was southwest of Mu, third one was east-southeast of this one, so. And I don't think it's too far away either, so shouldn't take too long to get to it. Then we'll go back to the Talon, and we'll stick that birth unit in. And then we'll go see Dr. Pulsar, I think. Or maybe we'll go see Dr. Pulsar before we put the unit into the Talon. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, I think. Because it kind of makes a nice roundabout trip for us, you know. How about we just use Sleep? That doesn't really cost a whole lot, and I don't think he's immune to it, so... And then I want to see how much damage you do with just your sword compared to drop. So we'll see. There. Okay, so yeah, drop is still better than the sword because, you know, she's not human anymore, so she doesn't get a damage bonus out of the weapon. So the weapon is more there just for the stat boost for her, so that she can use her robot talents to kick some ass. Let's do that, and I guess you can attack with your weapon because, I mean, you know, this thing's going to be dead in a second anyway. Okay, Curtis got a level up, so he's 18 now. Good, very good. He got a little bit of extra MP, so he can do stuff with that. And he'll be 19 momentarily. There's the ship right in there, I think. So let's go up a little bit, head slightly off this way. And there we are. Yep, this is the right ship. There's a dark crystal for us. We haven't gotten one of those yet, I don't think. That's a new one. And there's a magnum. We won't be using that. We'll probably just be selling that. Let's take the dark crystal, though. We'll stick it down here with the rest of the crystals that we have. We'll stick it right here, because I'm going to stick light crystals when we get those right there, and then fire crystals will go there. So, looks like we got a little bit of stuff to sell, though, so we should probably go do that, too. Maybe go back to Viper City, buy a little bit of gear after we go see Dr. Pulsar. Okay, Stone Gaze, you. Sure, why don't you use Quake? Nothing's immune to it. Paranail, we'll just go all the way down the line, and then you can one-shot one of those guys, so... I mean, you got a first strike, so this battle really isn't going to be anything particularly challenging, so... Yeah, I'd like the idea of being able to vary up the party slightly like this, you know, where it's not just, well, I'm just using stone and para and sleep and stone and para and sleep everywhere, you know. That would work, it would be pretty effective for us, but it's, I don't know, I guess I feel like it would get old. And to be fair, once Curtis changes into a cyborg, that's mostly what we're going to be doing, is we're mostly going to be stoning and paraing and sleeping everything, so... Okay, we don't need that yet. So I figure since we're going to be doing that later anyway, I might as well try to at least vary things up a little bit, you know. Okay, but that's all of the buried treasure that we've got here, so... What's the closest place to where we are? I'm going to go this way slightly. Where are we? That's New Dharm. So let's go to Viper City so we can buy some gear. We've already bought... What did we already buy? Let's see... we need shields and boots and gloves if they have them. If they don't have the gloves, I'll just go back to Moo and get the iron gloves that they have there, because the dragon gloves I don't think are particularly useful for us. So I don't think they give a stat boost anyway, but we'll see. Let's go look, shall we? That's the base, so we don't need to go there. I could have probably just taken one of the other cars and gotten here a lot quicker. That's okay. Let's hop right over you, head to the department store, and let's see what they've got here. You don't have any gloves here. Okay, that's fine. So we want dragon shields, get a boots, and then we'll go back and get the iron gloves. So I need 3 of these. And we need 3 of these. There we go. I think I'm going to go buy exit, actually, because I'm not 100% sure that we're going to get one out of the next dungeon. And we probably want to have one. So, is this better than the fire shield? Slightly. Okay, I'll take that then. And we got Get a Shoes here. These might actually raise attack. No, what did they raise? Agility? I think they raised agility. Yes, they raise agility in this game. Okay, that's actually even better, because I would rather they raise agility than the other stuff, so... Okay. So let's upgrade to the Dragon Shield here. There we go. And the Get a Shoes here. There we go. Or Get a Boots, whatever you want to call them. Give you the... Should I give you the Fire Shield? It might be better for you just because it gives her a resistance to fire that she didn't have before, or a resistance to ice rather that she didn't have before. And I mean, she has freeze, so like that would make sense, right? Makes sense in my head. Now let's just take a look at what the Dragon Shield gives us real quick. So extra defense, but no ice immunity. So yeah, I think I'll keep the Fire Shield for her. So yeah, another little waste of money, but again, this game gives you enough money where I'm not really worried about it if I waste a little of it, you know. That's not going to be a big deal. Alright, and Get a Shoes for you. Here we go. We'll be replacing those pendants fairly shortly with something better. And iron gloves. Yeah, let's go get the iron gloves. Why the heck not? So now we just got to go to Moo. I'm going to keep the adamant knife and the psi armor. That's for later. This stuff I can sell down here along with that stuff. Yeah, so let's sell that stuff before we go anywhere. I'll go buy an exit, and then... I could swear you get an exit, though. Maybe I won't buy an exit, and I'll, like, look it up and see if you do get an exit for free. And then, I'll figure out whether or not I want to buy it before we go off to the float land. So, Iron Gloves from Moo. And I think that's about it. I don't think we have a whole lot else going on that we need to do. Alright, so let's go to Moo, which should be to the east of here. I guess I can go to Dr. Pulser's lab before we go to Moo. Just because that should be a little closer than where we are now. So, like, it should be right up here somewhere. Oh, this battle looks like something. I guess I have Quake, so I'm not really too concerned about it. Yeah, Quake really helps with battles like this. Freeze those two. Might actually kill them this time, since we're quaking and freezing. So, especially with a Mighty Blow, that'll definitely help. That'll take care of one of them by itself. That Drain Ray will be dead in a second when Quake goes off. Do they have resistance to Quake? Don't think so. No. I was thinking maybe because they look like they're flying, but no, they're not flying. They swim, you know. Okay, so let's put that there. Arthur's getting beat up a little bit, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a moment. Let's just take these guys out. Why don't you heal Arthur since you've done your little bit so far? We can drop there and then do that. Okay. Yeah, like I was thinking, that should be enough to take that one out. That's enough for you. You'll be dead. Maybe that Drain Ray will live, but the one that Curtis is attacking with a Psi Knife. But maybe not. Yeah, it lives. That's okay. Okay, well that's a bit of damage. I don't know if that dropped his magic by 52, but it's spooky to look at, I guess. Not that he's using his magic for much of anything right now while he's attacking, but, you know. And we're getting good experience and money out of all of this, too, so that helps a little bit. Curtis, how you doing? 864 to 19. Okay, cool. So we should get there fairly shortly. There's his subterranean lab, or subnautic lab. There you go, subnautical? Something like that. So yeah, basically, on top of Maitreya kidnapping people and everything, and the fact that she could probably wreak havoc when we go to the Pure Land and there's nobody here to defend everybody other than Myron, we need the X-Plane unit from her, him, them, whatever they are, to get to the Pure Land. So, oh, Cure 3 potion, nice. I think that restores all of your HP for a single person, if I remember right. So it's a straight-up upgrade to the Cure 2 potions we have, but we don't have enough Cure 3 potions yet for it to be a straight upgrade just yet. But we'll get enough eventually, so. Oh, nice. Well, we can ask him if there's anything new that we can do with our Talon. I would assume you're Dr. Pulsar, then. Yes, sir. The password is Araquis. Something like that. What's the plan, Pulsar? Okay, we got a radio now. So we have a radar, a rocket, and a radio. Okay, so the rocket that we got, we can use at that harbor area, the pier that's near the palace. That'll take us to the float land. We just need to find X-Plane, kill Maitreya, use the remote to call him, oh no, we have to find the remote, excuse me. Then we have to call Pulsar using the radio. Once he does that, he'll blow up the palace, which will allow the Talon to come pick us up. Bit of a crazy plan, but I mean, it's alright. And then the remote will allow us to call the Talon to us and then take it out of the float land. And yeah, we kind of need to help out those guys that are already in Pure Land, so we should probably, you know, make sure this plan works pretty good for us. Excuse me a moment. Oh, I hate when that happens. I thought I was going to sneeze and then it just went away right at the last second. Oh, that means it'll come back in about 20 minutes. Okay, so we got a radio now. Stick this up here. And the rocket's actually going to be going away from our inventory pretty soon. It's a key item, but once we use it to get to the floatland, it'll be gone. So, but the radio... No, the radio will be gone as well, and then the remote will take its place in our inventory once we get to that point. Alright, so where do I need to go now? Just to Moo to get those iron gloves. So let's go do that. And then once we do that, we should be good to go. Although I'm not 100% sure if there's any better gloves that you can get in the Floatland. There might be. Oh, I didn't morph. That's my bad. Well, you get to see what happens if you don't morph now. He turns into the Water Hag mini-boss that we fought before. I'll just blast him. He'll be dead in a second. Got pretty good HP, though, huh? Yeah, they don't give a whole lot. And if you don't morph, it doesn't kill them permanently. They just stay there, so... But you can morph directly in front of them, and, you know, they won't even notice. So that's great. Let's see. So, Iron Gauntlets, I need 3 of these. There we go. And we might find something better in the Floatland, but we'll see. Like something that gives us a boost to our stats. But we'll see. That just gives us a little boost to our defense, so... Nothing too great. Curtis, you sure have a hell of a lot of defense, though. It's more than I expected you to have. Although it's probably because you're still a mutant, as opposed to everybody else who has undergone a transformation. So that's why they're slightly lesser on the defense. Because if we still had a human, they would also have a similarly large amount of defense. So okay, so what do we need to sell here? Just these. Okay. And that takes care of that. So, now that we've done all of that, we can head back to the Talon. Gonna put the birth unit in because we'll, I just want to see what it does. I know what it does, but we'll see what it does so that way it's taken care of. Okay, so this is Elan here. So I'm gonna go over here to get to here. Go inside, and we'll put that birth unit into the Talon before we go anywhere. Epilepsy alert. And dance break. Again, sorry, I can't help myself. So we attached the birth unit, and it is an option unit, just like I said, so now it's usable. Let's go see where it is, shall we? It's not over here, actually, but the birth unit allows an inn to open up inside of the Talon. So now, just like that other, what was the doctor's name that was in Viper City? Belsky? I think that was his name. You can rest here for free anytime you want. So as long as you have access to the Talon, you can just come back here and rest for free. And it's nice right now because it's in a centralized location, but it'll be even nicer once Dr. Pulsar breaks it out of the temple, and we'll have access to it whenever because we can just use the remote, call the Talon, and then sleep for free. So that's pretty nice. It's kind of similar to in Final Fantasy III where you get access to the Invincible, and you can just rest on the Invincible whenever you want. And it also has a shop in it and everything, so you can just sell off any of your excess gear that you don't need. But that's going to be enough for now in the Talon. Epilepsy alert. Excuse me. And that's it. We've done very little in terms of the plot today, but we have gotten almost all of the transformations that we needed in order to continue along with the plot. We just need to fix Curtis's transformation once he gets up to levels 19 or 20. And then he'll be in good shape. But we can do that as we prepare ourselves to head to the Floatland to rescue Sol and Faye, defeat Maitreya, and gain access to the Talon so we can go to the Pure Land on the next episode of Final Fantasy Legend III, the Stream Edition. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I promise we'll be moving along with the plot a little more on the next stream, which will be on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, today was mainly just to get all of our monster transformations set up, and our robot transformations too. And to be fair, we're still missing one of them, but we'll get it. We just need to get to 19 first before I do that, and then we'll be good. But until Friday, everybody, I hope that you take care and have a good one.